Hey everybody.
No one
Think-
can hear. Oh,
yes,
now
people can hear us, Scarlett. Oh, you gotta move over this way a little bit so you're in the screen. There we go.
Hello, everybody.
So, hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Oddballs TV. So tonight we have a special episode. Instead of our Saturday night rounds, we're going to have an educator here and a reptile conservationist and all that good stuff. So I have a new friend of mine, Shanti Kriens of Creature Teachers out in Oregon.
Hello. Yep, Portland, Oregon.
Let's see, I'm smart sometimes. And tonight we've got a co-host. Let me just put this down here.
Hello, everybody. It's me, Scarlett.
Okay, we don't yell into the mic. She's trying hard. So she wanted to co-host tonight for a little bit until it's bedtime.
Works for me.
So I said I said I'd let her. We're just trying to figure out the mic situation here. So before we get into everything, Shanti, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself?
Well, I've been obsessed with animals my whole life. Reptiles specifically, thanks to Steve Irwin. RIP. So that was my hero growing up. Really got into the reptiles in college with a place I was volunteering and working. And when that place started doing less and less of the interactive outreach stuff, I decided that was going to be my new path to pursue. So the year after I graduated college, I was a brand new mom with a 3-month-old baby, and I was like, okay, well, there's never going to be a perfect time, so we're just going to do this. And started Creature Teachers and started collecting my menagerie, my creature crew, slowly, one at a time, things getting dropped off, people not able to keep things, and it just accumulates, as do most hobbyists understand that. And I was trying to keep a variety of things, obviously, because not everyone's only going to be interested in snakes. So I was like, okay, well, I need a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit, pinch of this, dash of that, whatever. So I tried to have a variety of animals. So when I started formally doing outreaches, there was a variety of things to expose people to, mostly the children, but adults too.
Yep.
It started out really slow. There was like my first year with the 3-month-old baby. And I have a lot of friends in the reptile trade and hobby, so they all were like supportive, but brand new person, no one knows. I had like 12 shows for the whole year, mostly birthday parties. Then the second year, it exploded. And I had like 60 shows in a summer, and it blew up. It was all after school programs and summer reading programs. And it was like, oh my God. Yeah. And it was crazy. And then the next year, same thing, about 60, 70 shows. It went crazy. And then the following year, we were doing about the same, except we started spreading out into the rest of the year versus just having a busy summer. And then got pregnant and had the surprise baby. And I was like, oh my God, I had him in May. So I had literally given birth and then was taking him on the road with us for shows. And so my mom was with me on the road doing Nana duties, helping with baby while I'm doing a show. And then between shows, she drives so I can pump. Like, it was crazy. So we had a very busy first few years. The reptile community's been super supportive, very much pushing me forward and sending me overflow business from their education. Most of the other guys that do education are older, and they have a very set established business. And so when they get their calendars full, they were like, hey, do you want to do this show? I'm like, yes, everything. This last year, 2020, kind of kicked us in the nuts because everything can't be interactive, no touching, no coughing, no breathing, no doing anything. So it went from growing exponentially and doing really well to we had 3 shows last year. So all those animals I've accumulated to do education and outreach still have food, still have bills, still have electric, still have medical. That all has to happen. I mean, hell, we were at the vet yesterday, spent another $200 on the animals. So it's like the bills don't stop just because the income stopped. So it's been a tight year. And thankfully, I was able to work at Amazon all last year, still working at Amazon in the warehouse so I can make some money. But that means I'm splitting my one income between the business and me and like two kids. Going through a divorce too. So it's been a little bit tight, a little bit chaotic.
Yeah.
So it's been trying to balance the 30, 40 animals and the two little kids. They're 5 and a year and a half, and my hands are full.
Absolutely.
And my wallet is not.
Absolutely.
So,
and you also take in rescues too.
yes, I unofficially say I'm a rescue so I don't get inundated with stuff. But one of my really good friends, Sherry, she runs Columbia River Zoological Society and she's out of Vancouver. She is a like licensed reptile rescue. So anytime I get inundated, I start giving animals to her and she finds foster homes and gets everybody set up. If it's an animal that's particularly damaged, beat up, bruised, whatever, really has some issues like missing limbs or blind or needs vet care and stuff, I end up keeping those, making sure they get better. If I don't get emotionally attached to them, then I try to find them a new home, but almost without fail, I'm a foster failure. They end up staying. So I try to keep the things that I don't already have. So I don't have a bazillion bearded dragons or a bazillion ball pythons, but I've got a couple of each. Try and give everybody a break. I have different rotations on my calendar. For this week, these animals would work, and then the following week, these animals would work, and that way they're never worked too much. Because, you know, when we have library shows with 250 kids, that's a lot of hands and touching and chaos. So I give them like, I have a 3-week rotation. So whatever week goes, they have a 2-week break. And that gives them a chance to eat and chill before they go on the road again. So it worked out pretty well.
Bye.
Someone's getting sleepy, so she lasted very long in the show. So say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Scarlett. Have a good night.
I thought she was so excited, and she's just sitting there going,
Yeah. Usually if I sit down in front of a TV and it's just me getting to zone out, I pass out.
yeah. Okay, I love you. Go tell Dad you're ready for bed. So, with that being said, okay, love you, baby. With that being said, guys, so tonight is a fundraiser. In the description, there is an email address which is linked up to Shanti's PayPal. Because when I want people to drop dollars. Because guess what? If it wasn't for people like Shanti, we're not able to do what we do. Because it's people like her, you know, educating people that we can breed and sell animals to these people. She makes the need out there for us. So, and I'm going to do something. If you donate to Shanti's thing tonight during this live and send me on Instagram the screenshot of your PayPal receipt before the show's over, I'm going to draw for one of my first free shirts.
Ooh.
It'll probably take a month to get to you, but we're going to do that.
That's only because you live in the middle of nowhere. It's totally fine.
Yeah, well, more like I have to order more. I only got 3 of them. But you will be the first person to wear a Melusine Exotic shirt. So, again, you donate to PayPal. I don't care if it's $1. I don't care if it's $5. I don't care if it's $100. You donate. We'll say you get an entry for every $5 you donate. So every $5 you donate, you screenshot me the receipt, send it to me on Instagram, and for every $5, I'll put your name in whatever, how many times, and at the end, we'll draw for free shirt. Oh, look, it's a tarantula.
Yep, this is my Chilean rose hair. This is Fuzzbert. Thought Fuzzbert was going to be a boy. Fuzzbert laid an egg sack right after I got him. So Fuzzbert's a girl. But, you know, I still liked that name because my kid loved the movie Trolls.
Oh! Ha! Yeah, I don't watch a lot of TV. That took me a minute. I'm like, huh?
No. So Fuzzbert's one of our Chilean rosehair tarantulas. We have quite a few different tarantulas. I have a rose hair, I have the curly, and I have a king baboon. And the king baboon is quite feisty, so he doesn't get handled. And then my curly hair doesn't mind
Mhm.
being handled, but definitely more fearful. Fuzzbert's been my favorite because she'll just sit on people's heads and hands, super chill, never kicks at hairs. She's a super, really nice spider. And sometimes when we get really lucky, she'll start spinning. She'll use her spinnerets and she'll start feeding web out during when I'm talking so I can like pull web out and show people. It's pretty nifty.
Oh, well, that's great. John wants to get a tarantula, and that's where I draw the line.
Oh, but we love those spiders.
No, I'm allergic to
It's
regular
soft.
spider.
It's a little 8-legged kitten. It's so
Uh-huh.
soft.
I'm allergic to regular spiders. They land on me and I rash right out. So I'm just like, I can't
From the
imagine what would
hair?
happen. It's
Or is
just,
it the protein in the spider web?
I don't know. So I just can't imagine what would happen if like a giant one fell on me.
They don't
So,
fall on you. It's
well, I
totally
mean,
fine.
I have had one fall on me. We're not going to get into that story today. But
Well,
yeah, so I'm just like,
I love
no.
her. There's this great article that's floating around Facebook and the
Mhm.
internet, and it's micro photography of tarantulas' toes. It's a
Oh
game.
my.
They look like little Muppets. Their toes are adorable. They're like little slippers. It's so cute. Yeah, you'll have to Google it. Super adorable.
Awesome.
But super easy to get kids to like these guys, surprisingly. They're one of the few that I have a hard time getting kids past.
Yeah.
When they have a phobia, it's a lot of not humanizing it, but trying to get them to understand that they're thinking, sentient, feeling beings.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, like the light bulb goes on. They're not just this prop that's meant to cause fear and pandemonium. And
Oh,
then the kids are
absolutely.
like, oh, they have names. Like I had a little snow boa I used a while ago, a little Kenyan sand boa. It was a snow gray colored and white. And that was when Snow White had come out, and it was like super popular a couple years ago. So her name was Snow White because that was the fad, and everyone was excited about that.
Yeah.
And then I had another one, and her name was Elsa, and the kids were just like, "Oh my god!" And they were just so excited, and they were like petting on the tank and talking to her at the end of the show, and I'm like, terrified of snakes, huh? So glad that that little bit of effort just for me picking a
Yeah.
name, picking something that's relevant to them, then
Yeah.
all of a sudden snakes now aren't scary. Snakes aren't horrifying. They're not this strange, weird, slimy, scary thing from the shadows.
Mhm.
Her name's Snow White and Elsa. I mean, how can you not like them?
Oh my goodness.
It's really
Actually, my
speaking to the
daughter,
kids.
my daughter who you've just met, is
Mhm.
terrified of spiders, and she decided she wants jumping spiders, and
From Lucas the Spider.
so she only wants a certain kind. I have it written down somewhere, and she sits me down and she goes, "I've contemplated for my next pet. I would like jumping spiders, please." And I'm like,
That's
"You're scared of
precious.
spiders?" And she goes, "I feel that by having jumping spiders, it would help me with my fear of spiders."
That's so amazing.
Yep.
What a good kid. That's
So if
that's a
anybody in Canada's
that's a
got
mark of
jumping spiders,
maturity. It's a
if
mark of
anybody
maturity right there.
if anybody in Canada has jumping spiders, get at me.
Yeah, so side story. My kiddo Lincoln, my first one, my 5-year-old, when we found out we were pregnant, we never find out the sex. We're just like, we're just gonna figure out what it is, have a boy name and a girl name ready, it'll be
Yeah.
fine. And we could not, for the life of us, agree on a boy's name. So I told Lincoln, you come up with a boy's name. You come up with one. You're part of this family. Pick a name for the baby. Pick a
Yeah.
boy name.
Yeah.
And he's like, he just like 2 seconds. I like the name Lucas. Like, oh, that works. Lincoln,
Lucas the spider.
cool. Yeah, and well, it took me a week. And I was like, oh my God. You picked the baby's name because of Lucas the Spider? I mean, it's kind of appropriate. It's funny now to look at it. It's like we named him after a cartoon spider. But I'm
Yeah.
like, it kind of fits. I've got a bunch of spiders. I got the creepy crawlies. It's totally fine. And it was hilarious because when I went into labor, I was wearing like my favorite tarantula shirt. And one of the nurses came in and there was a spider had just jumped onto her scrubs and was sitting on the back of her scrubs. And I was like, hey, can I just grab this off of you real quick? And she's looking at me super confused. And I grab it and I just kind of like toss it in the corner. It's a little spider. She loses her mind and runs out the room. So there was like spiders everywhere. So I'm like, okay, Lucas's totem is a spider. We're just going to go with that. That's his spirit critter.
So exciting news. We had our first donation.
Yay! Thank you.
It was $50 from Philip Wetterman. If I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sorry, Philip. PD's Reptiles. He is a phenomenal dude. So he will get entered 10 times into my t-shirt draw.
Thank you so much.
We love Philip. Philip is a phenomenal person. So for anybody just tuning in,
a lot of people in our hobby are.
Yeah. Anybody just tuning in, this is a fundraiser for Shanti of Creature Teachers. Her PayPal is in the description below. Any donations get entered into a draw to get one of the first shirts from me. You have to screenshot it to me and send it to Instagram. For every $5, you get one entry. You could be the first person that isn't my chest to wear my shirt.
That's awesome.
And it'll be shipped to you no matter where you are. I don't care where.
Yeah, I was going to say too, since a lot of this interactive stuff's kind of had the kibosh put on it with COVID, and for good reason, I am still doing presentations on a limited local basis with masks and all that stuff. But if there's another way people wanted to support and be there and enjoy part of the experience, we have t-shirts that we're selling for $20 and then just $5 shipping. And that goes through PayPal. And again, just tell me what size you have. I pretty much have everything. And our shirts are amazing. They're unisex, super, really comfy shirts. They have a big Gaboon Viper on it. It says Creature Teachers around it. I forgot to bring one in with me so I could show you guys, but super cool stuff. If you go to our Facebook page, I have a bazillion freaking threads and posts on that with friends that have bought shirts. So you can go and see what they look like when they're hanging on an actual human instead of a mannequin.
Aww. I'm going to have to get one soon.
They're super comfy.
I've
even altered a couple and like cut the sleeves off so I can have a work tank top and stuff like that, but they're super cool. They're good shirts.
Oh, we have another donation. She didn't say how much it was, and she didn't send it to me. Rebecca Van Kellenberg.
Thank you.
A few dollars.
Thank you so much.
Is there any options for donations for people who refuse to use PayPal?
That's a good question. I don't know. I kind of have been starting into Venmo. I have the app on my phone, but I'm not super savvy at it. So there's always that option.
Chris, I highly doubt if you use PayPal, don't use PayPal, you don't use Venmo. You could probably message Shanti to get her address and mail her a check.
Oh yeah, that would be fine too.
Just saying.
I just won't be able to answer the message until after, since I'm videoing on my phone at the moment.
Yes. So let's bring out another animal, something with not eight legs that will make me hive out to high heaven.
So I told you I was bringing.
I say that with love. I'm really allergic to insects and arachnids. Like a mosquito lands on me and I swell.
No, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
So this is my white lip python, one of my favorites. I love their iridescence. They're beautiful. This is Severus Snake. And he was a gift from one of my good friends who runs the Newport Zoo down here in the coast on Oregon. And his petting zoo, he had 2 of these, and I just fell in love with this one. So he gifted him to me for the education show. But I don't know if you can see the iridescence through the light.
Oh, yeah.
But they are just amazing. One of my dream snakes. So I was very happy I got this guy. And as much as people get a little bit nervous with the pythons and stuff, and oh, well, he's going to constrict you. He's actually super gentle, really chill. He usually rides in the dash of my van on the warm days, and he just suns himself, and he's just just beautiful to look at. So he'll hang out with me when I go places and stuff. It's funny. One of my friends, she was babysitting him when I was out of town, and he got all sassy with her, was giving her lip, and she's like, "Oh my God, come get your kid. He's crazy." And then I get there and I'm like, he's just like, "Ma, I don't know what you're talking about." I'm fine. I'm being good. It was so funny. They as much as I like, it's hard to feel, and like people anthropomorphize their animals where they try to
Yeah.
implant human emotions on them. It's really
Uh-huh.
hard not to. Like, they all have their individual quirks and personalities and preferences, and it may
Oh
not
yeah.
necessarily be the way we typically think of a personality, like with dogs and cats, but they are so individual. It's
I
really
think I
quite
think there's
funny.
a difference though between like, everybody's got a personality versus anthropomorphizing them to the point that you're neglecting their basic care.
Yes.
And I think that's how I define anthropomorphizing, when you're basically humanizing them so much that you're neglecting their basic care.
So what's a good example you can come up with?
People who put a ball python in a 75-gallon tank.
Like,
When it's like,
they're
this
quite happy in
big.
a drawer.
What do you think a snake rack is?
Yeah, it's a burrow. It's a burrow for them to hide in.
Yeah. It's a snake dresser. Like,
Well, yeah, and it's way easy. Like, I know this is a whole split within the hobby with breeders and stuff. I personally have animals that are in the racks. I have animals that are in tanks. It just depends on their husbandry needs.
yep.
This guy is a high humidity. I would love to have him in a big, beautiful, tall tank that he can climb around and be crazy in, but I would prefer him have no RI issues and no shed issues and having
Uh-huh.
eating and appetite. So he goes in a rack, and he is feisty, happy, healthy, no shedding issues. He has got a good temperament. He's always just a peach. I just love this guy. So,
And white lips
I
get a bad rap too.
for being aggressive and stuff. Yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
like, he is definitely got a feeding response, but that, to me, feeding responses are different than aggression. I've had aggressive snakes, and they were not the personality type that would do well in an education setting where there's a lot of stimulus and children and frustration and anxiety and moving and getting into the car and going
Yep.
places. That just was not a good match. All the animals that I've kind of worked with long enough to be like, okay, you're totally accustomed to this, or you're just naturally a super chill snake.
Yep.
Great. But I feel like the snakes, they kind of let me know what their needs are as far as them as an individual, not just their husbandry as a species.
Mm-hmm.
So like this guy, he gets a lot more bitey and gets a lot more not feral acting, but he starts getting gets a more intense feeding response when he's in
Uh-huh.
his old cage I had him in, with a lot of foliage and a lot of trees, because he's like, "Ooh, I'm in the wild. I'm feeling good. I'm gonna bite the fuck at you." Like, he was feeling himself, and that's totally fine. But I would rather him be chill and gentle and calm and
Yeah.
not try to eat me when I open a drawer. So he's totally like, "Oh, hey," and just climbs right out onto my arm out of the drawer, not having to like test strike or anything first. He's just super chill. So
Yeah.
for him, that works great. My boas and pythons, the bigger guys like my berms and my retics and them, the
Mm-hmm.
big cages, they were not getting enough humidity. They were not getting enough heat, even with the panels and in the way I had it all set up. So all the new cages are way better. They have huge ceramic panels. They have light, and they're much more enclosed with less vent space. So there's still ventilation, but not as much as there
Mm-hmm.
used to be with like screen top cages. So the humidity is better. They shed better. Everything's better. So I don't know. Depending on how the individual is on top of their own husbandry needs is when I pick
Mm-hmm.
whether it's going to be a pretty display cage or a snake rack. So I think there's good for both. I don't pick one side of the argument or the other. I think it's very much individual choice. But when you have a huge breeding operation, sometimes it's just easier and more streamlined to go that way and have the
Mm-hmm.
snake rack versus you have one pet bearded dragon and you can make it have the best cool build out cage ever.
Yeah. They need to do arboreal racks. I think
Oh, that would be amazing.
somebody's working on them actually. Can't
That would
remember
be
who it is.
awesome.
Arboreal racks. That would be nifty. You could do freaking geckos in that.
Well, you could do geckos. You could do green trees. My friend Lance, love him to death. He's constantly sharing and supporting creature
Where
teachers.
is Lance? Speak of the devil.
He sent me pictures of the baby earlier, so I was getting my baby fix.
Yeah.
But he does green trees, and I'm like, that'd be really cool to have some like snake rack style stuff for arboreal snakes, not just the geckos. Like geckos, people do a lot with geckos, but not
Yeah.
everybody does a lot with green trees and other arboreal snakes like chondrias and stuff like that.
Well, Mr. Christopher Sexton, who's in the chat, he is a green tree man.
Oh, yep. One of my dream snakes is to have a green tree. There was this kid's book that I got my kid, and it's called Verdi, and it's a cute little green tree python book, and I just fell in love with it. I'm like, oh my god, I want it. I want a little biak, a little tiny red baby, or a yellow baby, and I was like, because then you could build like the amazing, cool, like paludarium setup where there's a water-based tank with you can build a waterfall into it and have all these cool things, and get some little minnows or little fish or something that live in the bottom, and they won't interact with each other and bother each other. They won't stress each other, but it'd be a really nice, realistic feeling habitat. And so like there's definite species that are on my wish list just because I want to have the amazing enclosure for them.
Oh yeah. Green trees are on my list someday. Someday I want the blue ones. Really? You have to make noise over there, peanut gallery? Every time.
Who's awake?
John. He's my 32-year-old. He always
So
sits
he's the
in
one that wants the salve?
He's the one who wants a Savannah monitor, yes.
I love my salves. I haven't had a bad salve. I've always had really great salves, but I've also always rescued adults. I've never had a baby. So I've always had the adults that are a little bit banged up and have been through the ringer a bit. And I just adore my salves. Like, I don't care if they're the Honda in the monitor world. They're super common, but I love them to death.
He wants a salve. I said no. I just too big.
You're such a party pooper.
It's just too big of a lizard with the amount of little children I have running around.
I don't know. I feel like they're a better option than a tegu. Tegus are way more feisty.
So we've decided we're going to compromise and possibly go for red Ackies in a couple of years.
Oh, they are gymnasts. My friend had a little trio, and they would just run and jump and climb and flip off of stuff and climb across the screen, and they were insanely awesome to watch. They were not a passive sit in the tank and bask all day. They did stuff. It was hilarious watching them.
Yeah, John's still over here.
He would buy Barbie furniture. He bought Barbie furniture and set up stuff in their house. And he'd be like, let's see what happens in the morning. Let's see what kind of rearranging furniture they're going to do. And then he'd let the food loose. And then while they're chasing stuff, furniture's going flying through the cage. It was hysterical. Totally worth it.
Oh my God. See that? I'd smack him. I'm like, why are you putting Barbie furniture in there, dude?
Something to do. Hello.
Oh dear God.
So funny.
My goodness.
You gotta have fun with your reptiles. I mean, people dress up their cats and dogs. You can't do much with a reptile, but you can make them have a cool enclosure.
I can make very pretty bioactive enclosures. The only time I can keep plants alive.
Yeah. My bioactive experience has not been super great. My one tank that did well was the dart frog enclosure, and that's because I neglected it, and the tank just grew. Because every time I tried to prune things and keep things pretty, as I killed the plants. So.
Yeah. Well, you have to make sure you have grow lights.
Oh yeah, the grow lights are on there. I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I doing this? I only ever get succulents. Really? Now I have this like tropical plant.
And now he's popping in the chat, John. Just require a lot of space, and I want to build a proper enclosure. Okay, that's what you think. We're still not getting a Savannah monitor. Limit. I'll do a tegu, but not a Savannah monitor.
See, but tegus are super smart. Way feistier. Way more cunning. They'll take advantage of you and your complacency. You're like, oh, I'm going to snuggle it. And it bites the crap out of you. My salves have been angels. Kind of brain dead, derpy angels, but derpy angels nonetheless. So, that's my perspective.
We're focusing on snakes while. We want to get into, but I wanted to get into bull snakes.
Ooh, I have one of those too. I should have brought him.
Damn.
He's like 6, 7 feet long. He's a big guy.
Oh, that's just little.
He big boy.
Little.
He was a rescue too. One of our friends' pet stores down in Albany had him as a surrender. So they drove him up and met me in Salem and handed him off to me about a year ago. So we've had him for a while. He's only been to one show because COVID. So his experience has not been super dense yet. He has not had a lot of exposure to the shows, but he's done really good with the one he's been to. Yeah. So
I'm not quiet. Peanut Gallery, like seriously. Did you want to come on screen? Like, welcome to my show. It's half of me interviewing, the other half yelling at him on the other side of the couch.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the
you missed the tarantula. He looks like I canceled Christmas here.
I can bring Fuzzbert back out.
Did you want to see Fuzzbert? He's like, yes.
Okay, I'll bring Fuzzbert back out.
He's bringing Fuzzbert back. Oh my god. My significant other, ladies and gentlemen, who is age 2 in the head.
Hey, he just knows what he likes. Fuzzy 8-legged kittens.
Fuzzy 8-legged kittens. He's like, agreed. Do you see it, little tarantula? Well, it's not little, it's big.
No, this one's my smallest. They get way bigger than this.
Oh, so that is small, apparently. He's like, yeah.
My old female I used to have, her abdomen was gigantic.
See, we had a vinegaroon. He wanted an arachnid.
I wanted it so bad.
So he wanted an arachnid with my allergies and stuff, and you know, I was like, fine, and we settled on a vinegaroon. That's what we settled on. Unfortunately, the poor, not laughing, I just feel bad though. When we moved, its little thing got jostled.
Oh no!
And we think the caves imploded on it.
Oh no! And it crushed it.
It died.
Yeah.
We had it for a year, but it was a male too.
My weirdest invert that I have had that I have absolutely loved was my Taylor Swift scorpion, bar none.
Yeah, I think he's looking at Taylor Swift scorpions next and vinegaroons. Again.
Of course, I named it Imperious because, Harry Potter. But
bye, Dylan.
It was amazing. Loved having one. It was a pretty small one. So on the goal is to get the big ones with the 12-inch, leg span. Get a big old beefcake one. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I want it.
See, what I liked about them is I can feed them isopods. So
there's that.
I try not to have crickets in the house. I hate crickets.
Oh my god, I love crickets. I don't like breeding crickets. Let me clarify. I don't like breeding crickets. They stink to high hell.
Yes.
But I love the sound of crickets. So if they get loose in my house, totally fine. I just don't want to breed crickets. I do great with dubia. I do fantastic with dubia. I cannot keep crickets alive for my life.
John showed me a meme and I agree with it. I love the sounds of crickets. I hate the sound of cricket.
I don't mind. Every once in a while, I'll have one get loose, and I'm like, it's so nice. And my mom's like, that damn cricket's loose. I can't stand it. I can't find it. I'm like, it's fine. It'll be dead in a couple weeks. It's fine.
Yeah. We had one get loose, and it somehow got into our fridge. Not only did it get into our fridge, it got into our where we live. We have bags of milk. It's like a bag of milk. Yeah. It got into the bag of milk. Yep. Got into the bag of milk.
That is bizarre.
Went to pour a glass of milk and out comes a cricket. And I'm like, excuse me?
Protein.
Yeah. No. So
my friend has crickets get loose in her house all the time. So she got sick of hearing crickets. So she literally went and bought house geckos and let them loose in her house. So the house geckos are just living in the house, eating the crickets. And I'm like, it's a natural ecosystem, I guess. It works.
I would have went for mantises.
No, when my ex-husband's family were missionaries in Indonesia, they lived out in the bush, and house geckos all the time, everywhere, in everything, laying their eggs and everything. They are quite comfy alongside humans. So I'm like, I don't think that'll be too much of a problem. And I'll randomly open the pantry to get a paper towel roll out, and one comes shooting out of the tube. And I'm like, oh, forgot those things are loose in here. They are just in the weirdest niches. It's pretty funny.
Mindy, I wish we could have dubia roaches here. In Canada, they are illegal.
What? Even as feeders?
Yep. You can only have frozen or like pre-killed
dehydrated stuff.
Yeah.
That is so weird. Why?
I don't know why they're illegal. I think something about possibly could be invasive or stuff like that. Because cockroaches can adapt really easily.
They can, but I mean, like, that's such a brazen, like,
it's like $1,000 fine per cockroach, and they can seize all your animals. Oh yeah.
Oh my god. That is so weird.
So we can't have
I just heard about this weird law where my friend down in California who keeps reps, they keep a bunch of reptiles down there, and they said they have been having the hardest time readjusting their husbandry because apparently whatever county they live in has banned the use of anything that's not an LED light bulb. So they had to get rid of all of their basking bulbs, everything that was illegal now because they're trying to be green and have LED lights in this county only. You can't purchase them. You can't have them from out of state. I'm like, this is for animal husbandry. This is not some random house light bulb.
Mm-hmm.
This is literally to keep an animal healthy. And so they're buying all the crappy ones that are not as good as, the big sun mercury vapor bulbs, the huge ones. And I'm like, how are people allowed to ban light bulbs? It's like, I don't understand. It's directly affecting the health and care of this animal. It's not like, I just don't get it. I don't get those blanket statements. It just drives me nuts.
No. So I breed isopods because those breed like crazy with minimal effort. And actually,
that's a really good idea. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, and their chitin, like their hard shell, is actually like the way reptiles digest it or whatever is more like it's full of calcium versus like a cricket.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, what kind of isopods are you doing?
I've got regular peace gavers. We've got magic potions.
I'm not super savvy with them. I've seen like ones called zebra isopods and some other things that were getting
I don't have zebra.
They were getting auctioned off to raise money for USR. And I'm like, I didn't know there's more than one kind of isopod. It was kind of
there's different species and different kinds.
But it hadn't occurred to me because bioactive wasn't on my radar. And so when I started looking into it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't even know where to start.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I love them, and it's addictive. And I let my colonies grow for a year before I even sell anything.
Oh, to get them that established.
You want them to be overpopulated.
Interesting.
Before you start digging into it. Yeah, we've killed colonies that way.
Oh.
By selling them before they were well established. Well, like my mystic potions, that's the ball python. Magic
I was like,
potions,
that's the ball python.
Yeah, magic potions took me like 3 or 4 months before we start seeing babies. So, yeah. These reptiles, we've gone through 2 colonies before we got it right. Yeah, I hate breeding insects. I'll stay with my crustaceans. Aww.
So this is my short tail python.
Oh, short tail.
Yep. She's one of my surrenders. One of my good friends had gotten it because the owner couldn't keep it. They found it. She had shark coats. So she's got I don't know if you can see that, but she's got a whole bunch of deformations and kinks in her spine. One of the 3 that were surrendered had already had enough issues that it passed. But all these little lumps and bumps in the spine can cause issues with swallowing and defecation and all that stuff. She's been a super trooper. She slams food, takes the biggest craps. She's doing great. So at some point here, got to drive out to Bend where our exotic vet is and do some x-rays just to see how it's progressed. But just because they have issues doesn't mean they ain't worth it and not going to have a great personality. Most of the short tails and the bloods I've been around have been feisty and naughty. My friends have a really nice one named Abby, and then this one, like, they're super chill, really relaxed, really nice. She just kind of sits and hangs out. And she's still really young. She's only like 2 or 3 years old, from what I was told. So we've had her for about 6 months. So I just her coloration is amazing. I
So
don't know
what would
what
cause all the kinks in the?
it's a genetic deformity, so they're born with that. So all 3 of
Oh.
them that had been surrendered were very, very. They had a ton of this all the way down their whole body. I don't even know if you can see it really well.
You
Let me
can see a few kind of waves.
Yeah, it's very, very, very obvious when you go to pet her. It's almost like I'm trying to find up a good thing to compare it to. It's bizarre. So basically, the spine on top of the kinks and stuff, they start calcifying, from what I understand, and it becomes solidifying, so it's harder for them to move. She hasn't had that issue yet. She's very flexible and moves in lots of different directions, so it hasn't developed and progressed to a point where it's going to be an issue. But most animals that have this diagnosis don't have a good long-term prognosis. They end up usually getting euthanized early from all the complications it causes. So I have tried not to anticipate how long I will or will not have her, but I really, really just am trying to enjoy her in the moment and just spend time with her when I can. I decided her name would be Beskura, and it means sun and stars and moon in Indonesia.
Aww.
So these guys are really, really neat. Very solid, short-bodied snakes like ball pythons. Very sedentary, don't move a whole lot. They sit in one place for a long time and wait for food to kind of come by. So
they're another pet rock.
Yes, which a lot of people get worried because they're like, well, my snake's not pooped for a while. Get a little worried. I'm like, if it's a blood, short tail, anything like that, give it about 4 to 6 weeks. When it finally craps, it'll be like the size of its body. You won't understand how it crapped that big, but that's what they do. They hang on until they run out of room. My Gaboon Viper does the exact same thing. Very sedentary lifestyle. They sit, they don't move. I was shocked. I went by my Gaboon's cage today and I'm like, where is he? He's not in his spot. And he had moved 3 inches over and was sitting in his water bowl. I'm like, he's going to take a shit and shed. Awesome. But like, they literally don't move for weeks at a time. It's ridiculous.
Wow. So is the Gaboon the only venomous you have?
No, I have my Gaboon, and then I have a Great Basin rattlesnake. They are one of our Pacific Northwest natives, very small and tiny, still just as sassy. And then I've got a beaded lizard. He's still a baby. He's about 1.5 years now, I think. And those are venomous, not deadly, but still going to suck. And then I've got my Gila monster, which I actually brought today, so we can bring her out too.
Yeah, there's been some demands for the Gila monster, and I'm like, we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
She's a pretty awesome sausage. She is absolutely one of my favorites. My friend Jeff's had her since she hatched. He hatched her. She was 17 when I got her, so she's 19 now. But they're a really long-lived lizard too. But she's a cute little sausage. Let me grab her. I just love her. She's a doll.
We all love your good Gila monster in these parts.
Yeah, we had what were the our Canadians that came down to the last expo last January before everything went crazy and they shut everything down in the world. They were like, "Oh my god, is it real? Is it a real Gila monster?" I'm like, "Yeah, smuggler. I just got her. Enjoy."
You can find them here in certain parts. You can have them. I don't think we can have Gila monsters where we are. Are you done? No, probably not.
I know in a lot of areas they are.
No.
You are not allowed to have them because they are venomous, but I don't know which areas allow them and which ones do not.
The closest thing we can have to venomous is where we are exactly is hoggies because they're rear-fanged.
I was going to say a hog nose or something rear-fanged.
Oh, hey, Sal. Did you guys just finish? Friend Sal was on a live earlier today. Oh, there's this baby.
So this is Margarita. Let's call her Rita for short.
Oh, she's so cute. Are you
He,
watching
oh,
her?
yeah,
Looking at monster?
he is.
She's so cute.
Yep,
And it's so chill. Like,
she
here you are
really is.
free handling a Gila monster, and like
She's
she gives
super nice.
zero poops.
No, she is wonderful. Now my beaded is a naughty little turd. He is tiny, feisty, and full of piss and vinegar. He just wants to fight everyone. He is
Yeah.
angry. He was born angry, and he's been handled a lot. And he just has not mellowed yet. And he's still tiny. So I'm like, I still have time. But everything I've been reading and hearing is just beadeds have a little bit more evil than the Gilas. So she'll just probably be the continued nice, sweet angel while he's
Yeah.
my little sassy demon.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's got beautiful patterns and colors. She's got a rosy pink orange on the top of her head. It's kind of washed out by the light right now, but her
the-
body's a pretty orange, and then the rest of her head and stuff a pretty pink color.
if you don't want to donate for Shanti, donate to feed the Gila monster.
She would love that. She's a foodie for sure.
Yeah. Let's feed the Gila monster.
Her last
Um.
meal was, oh gosh, I think she had 7 quail chicks. She loves eating
Jesus.
the quail eggs. She loves quail eggs. They're just messy, and she just digs into them and chomps them. She's just super cute. And then I have to like clean
Mhm.
her face because, you know,
Oh.
fried egg drying on there afterwards is just gross to peel off.
Hold on a
Hmm.
second. I love my chat. Someone came in late and they're like, because you were late, you have to donate to Shanti.
I love it. Thank you, everyone. You so cute. So I have actually had a friend who was bit by a Gila monster.
Oh.
And it will not kill you. You'll definitely want morphine. He went to the hospital. He was there for about a day just to get the pain under control.
Eh.
Did not kill him, but he was really wishing he was dead because it hurt a lot. And that's because these guys don't use their venom to catch food. It's all about the defense. Make it hurt, make it sting, remind them not to come back and try again.
Mhm.
So it was a nice little living experience to hear him tell me what it was like, because then I don't have to, experience it myself.
Mhm.
But he's like, hey, I know someone personally, a good friend of mine, who got bit, and it didn't kill him. It won't kill him. It's just gonna really suck. So,
Yep.
and I mean, really, you got like it was a baby, thankfully too. So when it envenomated, there wasn't as much as an adult.
Yeah.
But they have to chew on you for a minute, and their jaws are really strong to get all that venom and like when it salivates and everything to get it out into that wound. So it's a messy, dirty wound. So he was on antibiotics more so because of the bite versus the venom.
Yeah.
So all kinds of little factors to that. But I found that quite interesting. I was like, oh, that's nice.
You're not gonna die, but you're gonna wish you did.
You kind of want to wish you did.
So update, guys. There's somebody else has thrown something into the ring.
Okay.
Philip with PD's Reptiles has donated a shirt. So if you donate and you send me the screenshot, we're going to do a second draw for another shirt. So let's go.
I love it.
Just adding it on. Remember, every $5 gets you one entry. So we're in the middle of like a ice blizzard right now. So
whoa.
Yeah. So that's
awesome.
why I'm like, what's going on? Because I just hear crash.
So yeah, we had a power outage this week. From Tuesday to Thursday, we had the power out from windstorms and stuff, and it was out for almost 36 hours.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, I'm really glad my reptiles are staying at my grandparents' right now, because that was brutal. We were cold. We were getting ready and changing with flashlights and candles, and so it was not fun. But 36 hours without power made me real grateful real quick that I got a roof over my head and power again.
Yeah.
I was homeless a lot when I was a teenager growing up. My dad couldn't keep a house, so experienced a lot of homelessness. So I already have a huge try not to take things for granted, like a hot shower.
Mhm.
When you're homeless and you live on the beach or out in parks and stuff,
Yep.
you got to pay those quarters for cold showers. It sucks. So I was already, oh man, hot showers. I'm so glad they're back.
Mhm.
When the power came back on, it was nice. So it's been a rough week.
Yeah.
We had power outage. We've had water shut off at the house from PGE and all of our local utilities trying to redo stuff down the street. So we have just had one thing after another. And I'm like, can we not?
Yeah.
Can we just not?
See,
I'm done and done.
over the summer we had there was 2 power outages within 3 days
Oh my
during
god.
a heat wave.
No.
So we had the opposite thing because we needed that air conditioning to keep everybody cool.
Yes. See, and
So
my old setup, my whole reptile area was a 2-bay garage. So anytime it got too
mhm.
hot, I could just open the bay or crack it. And that was
Yeah,
a super
and
quick way to do that.
this is in a at the time a basement apartment, and it got really, really hot, really, really, really fast for some reason in a
Jeez.
basement apartment. Luckily, things like the balls were fine. The leopard
Yes.
gecko was fine. The beardies was fine because I
What
mean they
about,
like
so
the
you said
heat.
you raised something like night anals or something like that? What were they called?
Oh, Cuban Falls chameleons.
Yes, those.
Yeah,
Sorry.
they
Totally
were
wrong name.
they were fine, but unfortunately, between those 2 power outages within 3 days, we lost our colony of dart frogs and morning geckos. It got too
No.
hot.
Too hot. Yeah.
I was
That's
floating
brutal.
like their tubs in a tub of cool water, trying to do it that way to cool, but no, we lost them all.
That's crazy.
I was
That's
like,
awful.
yeah, it was not fun.
Yeah, I have learned a lot from several of my friends who are hobbyists and other educationers when they have had power outages. And I'm like, okay, once I get a new house set up and my new reptile space is set up and
Oh
everything is
yeah.
back with permanent enclosures, I'm getting a generator. My
Hmm.
generator has to be
Well,
effective enough to keep them warm. Like,
and
I don't
and
care if
it's
me and my kids are wearing sweaters in the house, but the
yeah.
animals have to have a generator.
And it's
Period.
funny because you think of like, okay, if the power's out in the winter, I know what to do. Nobody ever thinks of what happens in the summer.
Yeah, I had that issue too. And I was literally taking animals out and swimming them in the bathtub. Like, the
I
tarantulas were
mean,
the
you
only
can
ones I
only
couldn't
do
do
so
it, but like,
much with little tiny morning geckos and dart frogs. Like,
oh, absolutely. Like I
oh
said,
yeah,
most of my animals are bigger because they have to be able to be seen and handled. So I don't usually have baby animals.
yeah,
Like, really, the closest thing I have to a baby animal right now is my young gaboon and my young beaded lizard. But
yeah.
they're still handleable. And I'm like, they're not teeny tiny, fragile little, you can't breathe on them sideways things. Like,
Uh
baby
huh.
morning geckos are tiny.
Uh huh.
Like the
And
size of a
these
book.
were juveniles. They weren't even full grown yet.
Sad.
Yeah, like they were so tiny that we had them growing out in oh my goodness, this is how ghetto we are. We had our baby morning geckos. You know those like Tupperware you buy for like the cereal? Like
Yes.
we turned one of those into a bioactive enclosure for baby morning geckos.
That's cute.
Because you could take the lid off that has the hole and you could super glue window screen into it. Well, like hot glue it. But yeah, it worked perfect.
That's, I love
It
it.
was fantastic. It was so fantastic.
I have seen so many creative, easy to make enclosures. They're not going to be pretty. They're not anything you're
Yeah.
going to see on some husbandry channel, but it's like, yeah, you have a bazillion different arboreal tarantulas.
Yeah.
You can do some amazing cages. Like, really.
If anybody's wondering how small baby morning geckos are, like thumbnail size
Oh, yeah. They're
or smaller.
so tiny. Yeah, my friend had front opening enclosures with their geckos, and they were like, can you feed the babies? I'm like, they're going to run away if I open those doors. There's no way to control that.
Oh yeah, like you'd sit
So
there
I'm
and
like,
kind of like gently
yeah,
like open up and go.
yeah, I'm like
So they
flicking the
like
glass, trying to get them to run away from me. I'm like sliding a piece of paper down there and going shoo, 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 shoo before I open the door. And then I open it and just like throw the cup of food in there. And I'm like, all right, sorry, you guys are gonna have to eat it off the floor. I'm not losing you. Your owners can lose you. I'm not gonna lose you. It's not my fault.
woohoo! Another donation from Aurora at Aurora Exotic.
Thank
We'll
you.
add you into the draw. Just remember, guys, to screenshot and show me the thing.
The
'Cause I
things.
need to
All the
make sure.
things.
Luckily, I know a few of these people are honest about it.
Well,
So,
yeah. You know your
I'm just
peeps.
saying. I know my people. I know my friends. I know my oddballs. I've decided my fan base is called oddballs. My
I
followers,
love it.
my friends. You guys
I
are
was
just
calling
oddballs.
them. I called people for the first year on Patreon when I was writing a lot of my first blogs. It was "Hello, beautiful supporters," or "Good morning, my beautiful people, beautiful followers." I was always trying to
Yeah.
do something positive, and I was like, "It sounds a little forced. Maybe I need to find something else." Call them Creature Crew, the gang. I don't know. It's been
Just call
evolving. So I've
them.
been
Just call them your creatures.
hello, creatures.
Creatures of the night.
I'll
That
I'll
sounds
channel
accurate.
my inner Morticia.
Yeah. So if you guys didn't know, Shanti has a Patreon, which I'm slacking because I'm still not a member. Oh, is this my baby? Baby?
A human baby?
No, my little baby. Here.
Oh goodness. Who that? Who that? Oh, cool.
So it's just little.
Well,
It's
yeah.
it's not very big. It's a
Say
little
hi,
guy.
Margarita.
So this is one of my Cuban Fox chameleons. Is this the boy or the girl?
I was gonna say, is it a female? It looks like a female. Oh, stop it. You hear her giving you sass?
So
What?
see how they like to play I'm a stick? So
Yeah.
it looks he or she, I can't see the pores. He or she is acting like it's basically pancaking, so that's why you can kind of see all its ribs and stuff. Like you know how when a beardy pancakes, you can see its ribs.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it's
I'm a
doing.
lizard on a stick.
So when I got these guys, tail and all could fit on my finger.
Oh, babies, it was itty bitty.
You go crazy. You've got to be a Yago. You're being so calm. So I named them Polly and Iago after parrots.
After what?
After parrots, because they'll when they're full grown, you can like let them hang out on your shoulder and feed them crickets and stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
Margarita's not that agile. She's a little sausage with short legs. There's no way she'd hang on. I've put her in my hoodie pocket and just let her lay in there, and she'll just have her tail hang out one end, her head poke out the other, and she'll just flick her tongue and peep around. She totally doesn't mind hanging out in my hoodie pocket when I'm walking around the house or whatever.
yeah.
She doesn't mind like the sling. Like usually she
Slinky.
fits my arm pretty well, so she just grabs onto my arm, and that's where she just hunkers down and chills, and she's fine.
So these
Uh,
guys are kind of rare in captivity because people are having a hard time incubating the eggs.
I think we were talking
So
about that the other day.
yeah,
You're
I think
still
you and I
trying
were
to
talking on the
experiment.
phone.
You're trying to experiment on what temperatures they need to have the eggs incubated at.
Yeah, once I mean they're full grown and breeding.
Mm-hmm.
They're not full grown yet. They're getting there.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
about
but
halfway.
for the few people that do have them and they're being closed-lipped about it, it will be a trial and error type thing for you to figure that out, and that's unfortunate, but it's going to be that way, sadly.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you can find familiar. Um, you can find temperature gauges and what that natural habitat's going to be like during their breeding season and have like a ballpark.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, is it raining season? Is it like in the middle of summer? Is it heat? Is it going to be more hot, super humid? Are they going to bury their eggs? Are they going to leave them out in the open? Like humidity, no humidity, blah 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 blah. Just look at
Yeah.
the natural habitat and kind of going off of that. Since the
Yeah.
other breeders are being so tight-lipped about it, might give
Oh
you a
yeah.
little bit of a ballpark.
And you guys are in for really like those who are watching right now, this is really rare because these guys never come out. Never. Like they're usually like, I just want food. And they sit on my hand, let me feed them, and they're back in. I never have these guys out like this. So this is a very special treat.
I was gonna say that's an awesome treat to have.
So please donate for seeing Iago for the first time. They
So
are super pretty though.
I have another lizard that I don't bring him to a lot of shows just because he's got an attitude, but
Yeah.
he's super little. He's super cool. Not super common as well, but I've had a lot of people ask me where I got him, and it was kind of this random fluke at one of the expos I went to.
Yeah.
He's got a little bit of messed up back, and so he's got a little bit of a calcified hump in his back. So his name's Quasimodo, and he's a Gidgy Skitty. And I think they're really cool. He's totally got a sassy attitude though, but he's kind of like a pine cone, and he's all like the vibe he gives me is like he's a teeny tiny little shingleback.
Since
I
he's hanging out on my hand, can you go make me some
don't know if you can
grub
see
pie
him
real
very
quick and I'll
well.
just feed him? Since he's just hanging out, I'm just going to feed him. I mean,
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I noticed his tail's getting longer because he's got a new segment of color at the tip. I'm like, woohoo! Yeah, these are my love of my life. I spent a year looking for them.
So I want to ask everybody a question. How many people out there are like OCD about their picking off their kid's shed because it drives me nuts when they have something stuck to their eyelid? And I'm like, can we please take that off? I don't want to
Not
see
me,
that.
because he's got like a flake or two on, and I'm not touching. So if you guys notice, he's already changed colors since he's been hanging out.
I did
So
not
when
notice.
when John
What
passed
color?
him to me, he was a dark brown,
Okay.
and now he's going white.
Is that a stress response?
No, it's just like I'm going to do whatever color I want to do to absorb whatever
So
I can absorb.
I was gonna say, was it absorption or is it like chromatic?
There's a little
for
bit
the-
of both, but he's not stressed in the slightest. Right now,
That's
he's like,
awesome.
chilling. Chilling. Like, if he was stressed out right now, trust me, I would get threat display.
I was gonna say he probably wouldn't be sitting still.
No. Because these guys will move.
Oh, probably fly. They're probably super fast, and if they get loose in your house, good luck trying to find them.
Yeah. Yeah. I love them so much. They're so cute. But, yeah, no, I don't pick his shed because, yeah. He's got a nice
And how
big
many of
beard.
those do you have?
2. 1 male, 1 female.
Got it. I thought you had a couple.
No. So they are cohabiting because you can cohab them.
Oh, that's nice. Then you don't have to have
it is.
setups for multiple enclosures.
No, I mean, we have a spare if something were to happen. Like, it's bioactive, it's already going.
Oh, okay. That's
Like,
nice.
I know. So we have that ready. But yeah, I love this little dude so much. He's just like so chill. And one thing they do is they can climb with their nails, but they also have sticky pads too.
Oh. So, yeah, my frill dragon, he's constantly like climbing the screen part of his enclosure all the time. Do they have any screen in their cage, or do they just have cork log, or what are they climbing in their cage that's not needed for their sticky pads?
No, so they have sticky pads. I also took like bamboo shoots, like those decorative bamboo shoots you use for plants or whatever, like in the garden. And I took like the twiny type rope and made bridges and stuff.
The jute stuff, yes.
Yeah, yeah. And I made them stuff to climb on, plus plants and things like that.
Now, do you change it out to do enrichment and stuff? Do you ever change out the stuff in their cage, like on a weekly or monthly basis, just to give them something to explore?
I'll probably not change it out as much as I put it in new spots, like underground.
I've always enjoyed doing the enrichment side of it because a lot of people don't think about reptiles needing that stimulus, but I like changing out the bedding, throw something new in there.
Yeah.
Or, for example, with my Savannah, when I clean out some of the snake enclosures, sometimes I throw a snake turd in their cage, be like, hey, go sniff on it, figure out where the animal went. And that gives them, like, he will get all kinds of crazy and trying to figure out where this smell came from. And I'm like, I'll give him a tissue box.
Yeah.
Just an empty tissue box, and I'll hide the quail eggs in it. So he has to go and dig around in there for it. So I try to give them other things to do, and it's not just making sure he's having a feeding. It's not just sitting in a bowl. I try to give him something to actually think about and do so he's not bored out of his mind, especially the predators.
I'm watching him right now because he's got the look like I'm going to run.
I was going to say, he looks like he's getting a little bit wise to you.
What are you doing? He's like, I'm going to run, Mom. He's so cute. I love him so much. So I'm gonna, the only way these guys eat anyways. Cool.
Is he running away?
He saw John. This is how he's decided to go. Come on, dude. Like, this is my life, guys. When you have to spoon feed a freaking Cuban false chameleon. Okay?
But really, you make it sound like that's a bad thing. It sounds like a great thing.
Just don't bite my hand like you did last time.
He's
So
just
these guys.
taste testing.
No,
Taste
it's all
testing.
pretty good.
Just to make sure you taste good.
Watch it, you'll probably get bit. He's in that mood. You want to try to feed him? It's probably the lights freaking him out.
So do you just do like a little plastic cup like they do at the Krusties and put the food in it? Or do you actually like spoon feed him?
By hand. Spoon feed them by hand. So they're really smart. And here's the thing: once they're like little old men, so they're cranky. And when they're
crotchety.
Yeah. When they're used to a certain way of things, they don't want to change it
other ways. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So their original breeder spoon fed them, like tongue fed them.
That's hysterical.
On her finger.
Oh my gosh.
So
hey, I mean, at least it's super handleable.
I mean, it depends which one and to whom.
Oh, I guess.
So, but yeah, you guys got a really special treat because they never behave to have them on alive. Like,
hey, that's cool. Like, it's
really special treat.
Another great little learning curve and something for people to enjoy.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Kirkman and Mrs. Kirkman and Baby Kirkman sent $20.
Oh, love you guys. Thank you. Kirkman clan.
Kirkman clan. There's a Kirkman.
And my baby Yoshi.
Oh my goodness.
He is so cute.
Oh my goodness, so adorable.
Have you seen him? He's a sweet pea. Biggest smile.
Oh yeah. Mine's 10 months old and she's a jerk.
So, my first baby, Angel. Super great baby. Super
Unicorn
great.
baby.
Yes! It was freaking Angel. I'm like, oh, I'm such a good mom. I'm so good at this. We should have another
They lull
one.
you into the false sense of security.
Demon. I'm all like, hey, you know what? I think the fire department needs a baby. I can drop you off there anytime. Like, so he was awful, colicky, naughty baby. And now that he's a year and a half, he's finally like emoting and talking. And I'm like, thank God you are affectionate and sweet and loving now because it was close. It was a close call.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've met my first one. She's adorable. She's cute. She's sweet. She's the perfect baby.
Trick to have the perfect first
and then
one.
I had the second one, and he was cute and adorable until I got pregnant with my third, and that's when the demon came out. And my third is cute and adorable, and she is the best baby ever. But my second is a jerk, and I think it's because he's the boy.
My boys are so I think again, individual personality. In general, people say boys are crazy when they're younger and then they turn into good teenagers versus the reverse for girls. But I'm like, I don't know. My first one's pretty awesome right now, so he might be a jerk later. And the other one was a horrible baby, but maybe he'll be a good teenager. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just really hoping that they make good choices so that they can make it to adulthood. That's kind of where I'm at.
Just because there's new people in the chat and questions going, every $5 you donate, you get entered into the draw to win my first shirt before anybody gets to wear it. And also Philip with PD's Reptiles donated a shirt. Make sure you screenshot and send it to me. So Nava Reptiles sent Samula.
Thank you. I will bring out more reptiles again. If anyone has a preference on other critters, I have that I've already brought out that people may have missed. I've got the Chilean rosehair tarantula here with me, Fuzzbert. I've got Severus snake, my white lip python, who is gorgeous, super iridescent. I've got my short tail python. And then I've got my Gila monster.
And Deron from Visual Variant sent $20.
Thank you. I appreciate everybody so much.
Is this what it feels like to be monetized and get super chats? Because I'm here for it.
I'm like, I've never done this before, but it's kind of cool. Like everybody's just jumping right in and having chats and conversations. I'm like,
A
I'm digging
lot
this.
of a lot of these people know you previously. This is the Cusco Patreon fam.
I love my
So,
people.
oh yeah, they're $20. You get 4 shots. Safari
Thank
Tim
you.
TV says they want to see the white lip.
Oh, okay. Give me just a second. I will pull him out.
And I can try to show some stuff to people if you want to see stuff too. I mean, I've got also a lot of animals that are either breeding or in shed right now, so the selection is
Yeah.
limited.
Yes, that was what limited what I brought as well today because I had a bunch going into shed.
I do have one that just came out of shed. My pastel lab. He's a beautiful boy.
Oh. Yeah, I was that close to bringing my my golden child retic, who is gorgeous. I love looking at him. He's also iridescent, amazing pattern. He is just beautiful animal.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
huge, never stops moving, and he has nailed me so many times because his feeding response is so strong.
Mhm.
Once he's out, he's totally fine. But that immediate feeding response, he is about 7 feet long right now, so he's still really small. But he fires right past my 4-foot hemostats every time. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this knuckle has a fang stuck in it. Every time I bend it, I feel the sharp stab of a fang. But it's healed up, so
That's fine.
someday it'll pop out.
Also, guys, if you send Shanti $25 and your address, she will send you a shirt.
Yes, our creature teacher swag.
As much as we love swag, we also love donations more because then she gets more out of it. But if you also want to buy a shirt, go for the shirt too. I need to buy a shirt.
So this is our white lip. This is Severus Snake. See if we can get his iridescent on film here.
Now you need a Harry Potter.
So I have Bellatrix Lestrange, and I've had a Hagrid, and I've had what was the other one? I've had several of the Harry Potter names. I've had Legolas, which was one of my snakes. Obvious reasons.
Legolas is
I'm
Lord of the Rings, not Harry Potter, though.
Yeah. No, I'm a huge nerd. Lord
Wrong
of the Rings,
universe.
Harry Potter. No, all of it, all of the nerddom, and I have a lot of Game of Thrones now because, yeah, I love Game of Thrones. So I had
we have a lot of supernatural name things. I mean, my son's Dean.
Oh, that's cute. So
we have a Crowley, we have a Charlie. Our dog is Ramsey, which is the first hellhound.
I had 2 zebra finches, and their names were Sam and Dean Winchester.
Oh, clever. But here's the funny thing. My significant other's name is John, and we've talked about if we get married, doing away with all traditions and just getting our own last name. And he looks at me and he's like, can we do Winchester? I'm like, I am not having a John and Dean Winchester. No.
That would be amazing.
I'm just like, no. Denied. So
I don't know why. You're just no fun.
And then, yeah, but then, they'll be my mother-in-law will be like, you need one more baby so there can be a Sam. I'll be like, nah.
I was going to say that too, so I don't think your mother-in-law's wrong.
No, I'm done. Shut down.
The baby-making factory is over.
Retired. Oh, Daron from Visual Variant says, Shanti, if you like Game of Thrones, you should check out Vikings.
I have heard of that show. I have not started it. I emotionally invest super intensely into my shows, like pausing. I can only watch one show at a time because I can't deal with this. For a long time, it was like Supernatural and Smallville when I was a teenager, and then it's like, okay, then it evolved into I'm just gonna watch Sons of Anarchy. It'll be fine. Oh my god, so many ulcers.
Hey June.
And then from Sons of Anarchy, it morphed over to Game of Thrones, and that has been it's been amazing. I love Game of Thrones, but the eighth season was no. It was a bastardization. It was awful. The author is still working on the last couple books, so I highly recommend the show, except for season 8. Pretend season 8 didn't happen.
Okay. So it's like Roseanne. Season 8.
I don't know.
Oh my goodness, it's not Winchester John Rennick. Oh my god. We just started watching WandaVision. Speaking of the nerdum. That's the TV show about Scarlet Witch and Vision.
I don't know if I've heard of that one. I really don't watch a whole lot of like television for what's updated and new, but I'm a huge Netflix fiend. Like, give me all the crime documentaries.
Disney Plus. We have Disney Plus.
Okay, we just got that on Roku, so I've been exploring it. So
yeah, and Prime. So. I mean, my daughter watches Golden Girls and says, "Mom, can you put on the nanny show?"
Oh my gosh, yes. Raising them right, parenting land.
No, I'm like, that's not the nanny show. And then I put on The Nanny and said, that's the nanny show. WandaVision is very weird so far, but I think it's going to be really cool.
I don't know. Can you see the iridescence on him with the light or no?
A little bit, more in the darker spots.
It's really, it's just breathtaking when he's out in the sunshine. It's just boom. It's that iridescent blue, purple, green. It's like an oil slick. He's just gorgeous. Like,
oh, absolutely.
I wish the camera could pick it up right now because I'm looking at him and there's like 15 different just colors blending in and out of him. Yeah. And he's gorgeous. By far my bias of color, like I'm not a huge morph junkie. The 2 ball pythons I have are like a coral glow and an albino. Woo! But my junky color snobby is for the iridescence. I love my white lip and my golden child. I just can watch them all day. That's why I want
a spotted python, because the iridescence on them is insane. Like, I love it, but I'm having a hard time finding them in Canada. And you cannot.
So you need to make a road trip to the Pacific Northwest because.
Well, here's the thing.
We have our expo. We have our expo.
But here's the thing, though. I think it's limited. I'm not sure. Got to do more research, but spotted pythons are an Australian species.
Okay.
There's a whole thing with Australian species and importing and exporting across borders.
Feign innocence. You didn't know anything. You thought it was a ball python. Works all the time. I mean, shit. Fish and wildlife can't tell the difference between a ball python and a Burmese half the time. So really, drive across the border. I am not telling you to break the law. I am just saying.
Yeah, we joke. What was it? Shane.
Don't put down the pants, bro.
Shane Kelly from Melusine Exotic. He's a gentleman. Has the Mexican beaded.
Yes.
We joke that if I would just have things sent to the post office in Maine that I'm 5 minutes from, and put it in a diaper, wrap it up, a clean diaper, and then just put it in a snake bag that says used diapers, and nobody's gonna look. Like, seriously.
No.
We joke about that. But yeah, I mean, I'm not actually going to do that.
I was going to say, that's a new level of animal smuggling. I've seen the basketballs. I've seen the water bottles. People put birds and stuff in from South America. But I've never heard of the used dirty diaper pail.
Well, I mean, if it moves, it'd just be like my kid's got worms.
Ew, no, she went there. No, I can't. No.
Kids, it's kids.
Deworm them. Deworm the damn kids.
Deworm the children.
They're putting shit in their mouth. That's not that problem.
Yeah.
Are you drinking wine?
No, I'm drinking soda.
Oh, I was like, where did all the
I said soda. I can drink wine. I'm
pop or soda. So, East Coast. I say from Tennessee.
Pop.
That's where I was born. Yeah. You're East Coast. I was born in Tennessee, grew up a bunch in Delaware and Baltimore and Virginia, all the areas over there. Everyone says pop. I'm like, that is so weird. I always called it soda. I was homeschooled though, so I didn't have a lot of outside influence. So everyone calls it pop over there. I get out here to the West Coast, everyone calls it soda. I'm like, well, duh, that's what it is, soda. They're like, no, people on the East Coast call it pop. I'm like, okay. It's just weird, the cultural differences within our own country. It's crazy.
Well, I'm in Canada, though, so it's even different there.
Well, yeah, you guys put your milk in bags. It's weird.
Yeah.
Oh,
Actually,
but
not all of
I will
Canada
say-
does that, just East Coast Canada.
no, I went to BC and Alberta had milk in bags. When I did my Rocky Mountain study abroad, we were hiking through the mountains for my college program. And when we got up into Alberta, the weirdest food popped up on a shelf on the res. And I'm like, I'm totally getting that and trying. That sounds like Canada food. It was ketchup flavored potato chips. And my God, they are the most delicious damn things ever. It's like the brand is called like Dutch something or other. They are so
yeah.
good.
Yeah,
but I like the weird tangy sour stuff. Like I love dill flavored Lay's potato chips. So
you want to know what came out today? And I made John go get some.
What?
3D Doritos.
Did the what?
3D Doritos.
I don't even know what.
Remember in the 90s, there's like the little triangle Doritos that were 3-dimensional.
Yes.
They came out today in Canada. I was like, you need to go to Walmart. He's like, why? And I'm like, you need something there. So he goes and he's buying Christmas candy that's on clearance. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, Deron wants to know, sneakers or tennis shoes? Sneakers?
Depends on the brand. I don't know. I'd probably go with sneakers, but really just depends. I'm like, am I hiking? Am I working? Am I just hanging out, having something comfy to wear? Like, it really depends. I'm very eclectic. I like a variety of music. I like a variety of clothing styles. Like, right now, my go-to favorite, like, clothing theme is, like, gothic, bohemian, like, chic, hippie shit. But I've always been a country kid. Flannel is, like, everything in my drawer if it's not my work yoga pants and tank tops because I work at a warehouse. So my themes of things I like don't horribly change too much, but I do go through peaks of wearing the same thing a lot, like flannel. And we're in Oregon. It's cold and rainy all the time, so I wear a lot of flannel. I've never been a huge hoodie person, but I did wear a lot of hoodies in college. So my hoodies have been semi-retired. Yeah. No, well, I've been wearing. I'm now at a point where it's like I went so many years where I was just like, I don't care what I look like. I just need to get through college. And I actually care about my appearance.
I'm that way now. And
post children, I actually care. So I actually did my hair a couple months ago and like had it done. Like I don't even know when my hair was done before that. Put on makeup for the podcast. Like I actually am trying to care about my appearance.
I didn't even do that.
Well, I didn't do that for years. I didn't do that for years, girl. Yeah. I finally started caring again because I'm like, I have a public, appearance. I should.
I brushed part of my hair as I got out of a shower, but I don't care about my appearance. I don't care about my appearance because I'm just trying to get to bedtime. Yeah, you're trying to get through college. I'm trying to get through bedtime.
Yep, that was all I was doing. So when I finished college and I started actually like working, and then I was like, okay, cool, I'll start caring again. Boom, kids. Boom. Yeah, killed that real quick. So then it was like, all right, cool. I ain't judging no more Walmart yoga pant wearing mamas. Ain't doing it.
So we're getting to my favorite portion of the evening.
Yes.
Where we drop the link to the stream in. I will pin it. And we will take live questions from the audience. And I know there's a bunch of YouTubers. I know there's a bunch of YouTubers in here who are not afraid of being on a screen. So get at this.
Do it.
If I have to do this with possible COVID, you guys can do this for 5 minutes. And yes, just a gentle reminder, everyone who donates money and sends me a screenshot gets one spot in per every $5. You can get be the first person other than my chest to wear my shirt. And there's also another drawing for a shirt from Petey's Reptiles.
And if you want to support Creature Teachers, but you want to get something out of it, send me $25, 20 for a shirt, 5 for shipping, and I can send you a Creature Teacher shirt. There's
make sure you say versus shirt or donation.
Yes. And if you get on our Creature Teacher Facebook page, there is bunches of threads all over there with, I think, 20 different people that I know that have bought shirts, and they're all wearing them and modeling them so you can see what they look like and their cut and fall on their body and stuff for guys.
Here's my shirt.
It looks better than sitting on a mannequin when you can see it on a person. So there's that.
Well, I mean, who doesn't want to wear a big Melusine with big tatas on their chest.
Hey,
You have big.
itty bitty titty committee over here. Calm yourself down. Calm down.
Well, speaking of things that like titties. Hey, it's baby Kirkman.
Wow, that was one hell of an intro.
Where's the baby? Where's my baby Yoshi? There he is. It's Auntie Shanti. I love you. Hello, Pookie. Hey, look at me. Look at me. Right here. Eyes, kid.
He's bigger than my 10-month-old. Good Lord. My
Boo,
10-month-old is also like in 3 to 6 month clothes.
Oh, it's a miniature. It's a miniature baby.
Deron, send me the screenshot on IG. Just send it to me.
Baby Yoshi, how are you?
I'm pretty sure I put you in anyways because I trust you.
I'm going to try and find him like a Yoshi Halloween costume. I'm just going to have to. And I'm going to have like Baby Mario like latched to the back of it. That old game. I think it was Nintendo.
Mario World, but
It was it was Yoshi's Island. It was a Yoshi's Island where he had to take care of Baby Mario, and I loved that game. I'm pretty sure it's. I want to say it's NES. I want to say it's like old school Nintendo, but it was Yoshi's Island. I remember that, and I loved that game. But he was taking care of Baby Mario.
So, do you guys have any questions for creature teachers, Shanti Kriens?
Those my peoples.
I don't know if we have any questions. We just wanted to come say hi.
Yep. Lance.
What are you about you, baby
person.
Kirkman? Baby Kirkman, do you have any questions other than booby, please?
He says boo 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 boo.
Yeah, you're the wrong person to be asking for a booby.
Mine's finally starting to wean, and I'm so excited about it.
You'll get your boobies back to yourself.
Yeah, she just cut 2 teeth, so I mean, she's starting to wean. She's like, I'm over it.
The bar is closed once you start having teeth. Sorry, you're cut
she
off.
has no interest. She's like, I'm done.
Well, yeah, I'm like, so back to motherhood with Lincoln. I was like, I'm gonna be a good mom. You get breast milk the whole first year. But when he got teeth, he was cut off, and then I just stay, demon, stay. Then it was like I just pumped for the whole year. The second baby, he was so allergic to my breast milk. I was like, he's just like exorcist, projectile vomiting, all of it. I'm like, fuck, I give up. I like pumped so much, and like my freezer was full of liquid gold, and I'm like, you ain't gonna eat this. This is fucking shitty. So he went on formula. I was like, okay. And then he was totally happy. I'm like, thank God I have my boobs back. It was such a relief. Didn't even realize what a burden it is. No, for real. Hey, quit. Like,
anyways, back to snakes and reptiles.
Hey, whatever.
Do you have a boa for your presentations?
I do. I have my favorite boa, Penelope. She is an albino red tail. She is blind in one eye. It was just a deformity, wasn't an injury. I got her when she was about 3 years old, and she was stuffed in a teeny tiny fish tank. And the dude wanted to go backpacking in Alaska, and he's like, I can't really take her with me. I'm like, obviously, I'll take her. Thanks. So she's been with me for 4 or 5 years, and she's gigantic now. She's like 7 feet long, but she's a chunker. She's big. And she's still got at least 4 feet to go. But I keep saying she, I'm pretty sure it's a boy. But since I don't breed, I don't actually sex them. But Penelope is my favorite boa for shows. And she is the one that the kids most fall in love with because she is just so passive and sweet. Not a mean bone in that snake's body.
There you go, Aurora. She's got a morph boa for you.
There we go.
Whoop,
Kathleen
whoop.
Kathleen wants a Doomeril.
Oh,
Kathleen's
I've had
crazy.
Doomerils. I've had multiple Doomerils given to me. Range of sizes, sex, and all that. I have had it hit and miss on their temperament. Not being aggressive, but just being extremely frightful and fleeing and trying to. I'm like, they're a ground boa. They don't want to be up in the damn air. They're not climbers. They are ground-dwelling snakes. Their scientific name's lazy dumb snake. Like literally, leave them be on the ground. They don't like it. So I've had one that was okay being handled up in the air. She was a big girl and she just hang on you like a scarf. But outside of that, the other ones got real nervous, real flighty, didn't like to be up in the air. So I was like, it's just not a good fit. I'm not going to force them into that and make them
And
stressed.
God knows how they were treated before that too. They
Oh,
weren't
exactly.
probably handled as, juveniles.
If they weren't handled at all. Like most of the ones that were given to me is like, oh, it hissed at my son and he's too scared to handle it now. I'm like, it hissed at him? Like, okay, whatever. It probably hasn't been touched since you fed it. And if it's only getting touched when you feed it, yeah, probably pretty nervous. So
mine hiss at me and I'm like, oh, aren't you cute?
Who's having a chat conversation?
Yeah. Although if they strike at me 3 times in a row, then I'm like, nope, not touching you, John.
Like I said, my golden child retic is one of my favorites. I adore him. He has got the most intense feeding response every time. Like the 4-foot hemostats come out, I'm like,
John.
Wave around the corner, he comes launching past it, nails me in the hand multiple times. I'm just like, bro, I don't have enough. Like, you're gonna bleed me dry. You're gonna bleed me dry. All these superficial cuts just constantly. I like, ugh. he's a beast, but I adore him. I try to get this like under control before he gets bigger. Yes, baby Yoshi, what you got?
He's like toys. Mine are also freaking things.
He's not a happy camper at the moment.
Oh,
teething.
Oh yeah, he's breaking 2 teeth on the front.
Hazel just cut them. She's 10 months old. She was like, I'm taking my sweet time. And she cut one and it's like up and the other one's just like,
Does he have a chewy ice ring to chew and gnaw on?
Yeah.
Do you want to know the best teething hack ever? As my viewer count goes down, because we're talking about babies. It's fine, guys. No. Frozen waffles.
Oh.
Because as they mash them and it unthaws, it like, mashes up. But it like the squares catch all the drool and it freezes. It's great.
So the one I did with my 5-year-old when he was teething is I gave him pizza crust.
Oh.
They're flavorful, they were yummy, they were new, and I didn't want to eat them all the time because I was like, bro, it ain't cheese stuffed crust. I'm over it. So I give them to him and he loved them. Ooh, I can't tell. It's a ball python, I think. Is that a Candino?
Nope, that is a pastel lavender.
Ooh, he's beautiful.
Very pretty. So what you can't see is the whites are actually like off purple.
No, they're like a purple. No, I can see the purple. So I was like, oh my god. That's why I thought it was a Candino at first because it's just such a contrast.
Nope, he is a pastel lavender, possible het pied. Oh, he's not happy.
Is this one your daughter's?
No, this is mine.
Okay. You were saying Scarlett had one like that. It was a het something or other.
No, she's got yellow belly, het pied. He's like, he's boy. Het pied, 50% het lab, which is what he is.
Okay.
And then he's got a gene and it's a new gene.
Ooh.
Yeah. He's like, I'm adorable. He just shed too.
Cool.
So this is the one that he thinks he's a green tree python. If you can't tell, like he's a climber.
Hey, whatever. My old female ball python loves climbing stuff. She loves hanging out on my shoulders. Real like active snake.
Yeah.
My other ball python sits in the same spot and never moves.
He's pert. He's like, I'm good now. You're my boy. And you just farted. That was the first time Ooh! That was not. Oh my god, that was
That's amazing.
That was
the only time I have actually like paid attention to a snake farting was when my boa Penelope was in the bathtub and bloop 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 bubbles. I'm like, oh my god, my snake just farted. It was very, very disturbing and entertaining all at the same time.
Oh, All right, guys, come on. There's that streams in the thing. Come ask questions. Zach, I'm calling you out because I know you do lives. You can come ask questions.
Yes. Ask away. I am an open book.
Are you doing Horatio? He's like, I'm proud that I said it. He's just out sniffing. No, I love lavenders. We're hoping to get tied into them to make some dreamsicles.
Oh my gosh, that would be
Ooh.
cool.
I also have a female that's the same thing. So
I'm assuming then you've seen the lavender retics.
no, I have not.
Stop what you're doing and Google it.
And that's
I
when
worked
the
with
podcast ended.
Apparently, there's lavender retics, John.
They're
Why, dude?
amazing. They're
Why
gorgeous.
are you
I
trying to
worked
go
with a big
under
one.
me?
When I managed the Portland Aquarium for a little while in the Amazon area, we had a big 16-foot lavender retic, and she was so morbidly obese, but she was really, really pretty. Her purple was very intense, very bright, very vivid. Why? Don't be a poo. Don't try and bite me. You're so mean. My Gidgey skink. He is quite ferocious for as small as he is. He is my meanest lizard. Only second to my bearded dragon. All of my little animals are spicy.
Yeah, my beardies are all spicy. There's not a sweet one in the bunch. Actually, John will fight you and say there is one sweet one in the bunch, and I will fight you and say no.
My first bearded dragon, Puff.
Again,
she was a rescue. She was amazing. I could paint her nails. I dressed her up. I put bows and pearls on her for the kids' birthday parties. Puff was amazing. She would literally let me put all kinds of crap on her. She was great. After she passed, because she had metabolic bone when I got her, so we only had her for about 2 years before we had to put her down at the vet. But when I got Hiccup, our current bearded dragon, Hiccup had been part of a breeder's clutch. They had like 40 babies in the same tank, a 20-gallon tank. They were not getting fed enough, so they started cannibalizing and eating each other. So Hiccup lost a back leg to one of his hatchling siblings.
Oh, no.
And when he came to my house, he showed up in an ice cream tub, and they said, yeah, so he's just not eating. And I'm like, that's weird. Why is he missing a leg? One of his siblings ate it. I'm like, why was he in with another lizard? Well, they were still hatching and they're I'm like, bullshit. But whatever. So I took him and immediately started eating. That thing has the best appetite of any animal I've ever owned. He will take my fingers off while I'm trying to like put the food in his cage. He eats tongue fed by hand. He loves greens. He loves bugs. He's just a happy, healthy dude. But I'm glad I got him young, because God knows he'd be a psycho as an adult when I got him, because he is still mean and still tries to eat me. He would attack my phone. I'd put it on selfie mode and be like, hey, buddy, look. And he'd grab my phone and shake it. He's crazy.
So
My bearded dragon.
you know that question you always hear, but you never know the answer to? Is that a python in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? I now know the answer to that question. My ball python just climbed in my pocket.
Oh, so it really, really is.
Yeah, so it's just a python in my pocket. I'm not happy to see anybody.
I told you. This is what I said earlier. Snakes lead to babies.
Oh,
I was not an exaggeration.
he's a penny boy.
For any of you virgin ears out there listening, I apologize. People in the reptile community, we have a twisted sense of humor. This is just how we roll.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. There has to be more questions, people.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to always be reptile related. If you want it reptile related, that's fine. We can ask me. We had the sneakers and tennis shoes conversation earlier too.
Yeah. Oh my, what are you doing? He's just like hanging on the couch, like poking me. I'm like climbing in like my pant pocket. Like, I don't know what is up with this snake. This is a snake that as soon as you open the bin, like as soon as you open the tub to like fill his water, 2 seconds later he's on the top of your head. Like, he's broken.
He's exploring.
My pocket?
There's all kinds of smells.
Come here. You want to explore up here?
I talk to my animals all the time, even though I know they're not going to answer,
boy.
let alone pay attention to me.
He's gonna be a big boy when he's all grown up.
How old is that one?
I don't know. I bought them off of someone. I'd say a year or two in between that.
Oh, baby.
I was gonna say he looked plenty big for you.
Oh, I mean, he's good size for a male. He's not done growing. He's still got more. He's gorgeous, though.
Oh, yeah, I can see his color from here.
I love him. He's like, I'm trying to figure out how to climb on that microphone. He's the one who goes for my Christmas tree. I'm like, let's take a cute
climb
picture.
it?
Yeah. Any of you guys going to make it to Carpet Fest at Brian's?
I don't know. Hadn't heard about it.
Well, Carpet Fest is also in this state. Yeah, I'm trying to highlight a thing, thank you. Carpet Fest is also in California. I'm in New Brunswick, Canada. And COVID has the border shut. Oh, we're going to boop the screen. Oh, we're going to boop the screen. Okay.
Cute. Hello, little boopers.
He is adorable. He's my boy. His name is Horatio. Like Horatio.
So when is it? When is it going to happen?
June, I think.
Well, it's like 2 months after the expo. We should have a good idea whether things are going to be shut down still or not.
It'll be shut down still here. We won't see borders open until 2022, I'm thinking.
Are you serious?
And Canada to US borders, oh yeah. We're not expected to get our vaccines where I am at, like my category, until like July.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah.
Well, but in our county, they just released state and county just released their plans in 2021, only has up through 65, I think.
Yeah.
65 what?
Year old. Like they
oh my gosh.
Their plans are 3 months behind, but not only are they 3 months behind, but what they do have planned is only the old elderly, a handful of different medical conditions that will get you a shot.
Yeah.
If you're not actual like first responders or nurses or something.
Yeah, because right now the first responders et al. Are getting their shots right now. But
yeah, the guy I'm seeing, he's getting his shots right now.
Yeah, nobody. There is literally no plan for anybody under like 55, 60 for
That's
the 21 year.
That's crazy to me. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, baby Yoshi, where'd you go?
He went somewhere peacefully for a minute.
He went to a better place.
Yeah, I can't wait to go to my first reptile expo.
Well, I was gonna say, you should totally fly out. You don't need to bring animals and stuff. Just you should fly out for April, because when our expo, the Pack Westers, gets back on, it's gonna be crazy. It's been over a year. Last January was our last expo, and I think everyone has gone stir crazy in the meantime.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get to the fall Tinley.
I have not been to Tinley yet. It's on my list. I really want to go to Tinley.
Yeah. It's on my list. I want to go. I want to go see everybody.
Have you been to Tinley before, though?
I haven't been to a reptile expo ever.
What? Girl, we gotta pop that cherry. That gotta be done.
Yeah. But the thing is, too, is you gotta remember, I can't import anything. So I'm literally just going. I'm just going to see people. That's all it is.
Appreciation for Dad's creation. You show up and have fun and go peek at stuff.
I'm just going to go stalk Dave Coffin. That's all it is, guys.
Hey, we went to Tinley and we didn't have a shopping list. We had a people list. And that's what we spent all 4 days doing, was hunting people.
I just want to harass Brian.
It.
I just want to give Cusco a hard time. That's all it is.
He will never be hard to find. He will always be at Freedom Breeder.
You'll hear him. You'll hear him before you see him.
Oh, are we roasting him now? Is that what's going on?
I always roast him. Did anybody watch my episode?
Yep.
On Brian's channel?
I don't know. I did not. I'm still new to all this podcast stuff.
Yeah, we roast.
See, you could have had a glass of wine. Totally would have been fine.
Yeah, I'm also sick and I'm trying to fight the urge to die right now.
Hot glass of mulled wine, just saying.
Pass on that. He's just chilling. You should put him
Damn
back in though
Canadians.
and give him,
Don't know what's good for him.
since he hasn't been open, check his water. Fresh water. We are anal. I try to do water and stuff every single day.
I thought this was a reptile show. Why you have to go that direction?
What? I told him to put. I'm tired. I'm also sick. Is there anybody
I'm just
who's
giving you a
not
hard
in
time.
shed and feisty or breeding? Because I don't have it in me right now to deal with anything feisty. This is my mood tonight. Oh, look at the fish.
The Giggy Skink is always mad.
We're kind of at that point that we're not getting into any more lizards until we get our own house.
Okay.
I want to
Not a
focus
bad
on.
plan.
I want to focus on more like snake species because they're less equipment wise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
When it's like $300 per bearded dragon enclosure for freaking lighting and heating.
Oh, God, yeah. I just, my partner just ordered me a whole bunch of Arcadia T5 lights and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's all I
wanted to
use.
cry when I saw that bill.
Oh, she's cranky. Oh, did she shed?
Oh, that's great.
Oh, he shed.
Baby Yoshi, are you happy now? Did you
I
need your
hate when
boob
they
poop?
do this.
They make it a poop condom. They just poop in it. It's fine. It's a go bag.
No, he didn't. He didn't poop. But I like to. I want to see if he left me a whole piece of the head shed.
Oh,
And of course, it's dried out now because
it's
he
all
shed.
crunchy.
Yes, and I'm trying to like gracefully. I want the head.
It's a good thing you're graceful.
I'm not
Just the
graceful at
tip.
all. I just want the head. I have yet
That's
to
what she
have
said.
like one beautiful headpiece. They always mash it up on me every time.
I've had a couple of good ones from my gaboons with the horn and everything. And
Ooh.
watching the gaboons shed is so cool. I've only caught them
Silly.
doing it a couple of times, but when they're doing it, my male, because his horns are a little bigger, he will literally turn around to his side and he'll dig his horn around the side and loosen up all the skin on his side and then rub it against stuff. And then he'll turn around and he'll use his horn and loosen up his skin on the side of his body. And then he'll just peel it off super easy. It's so cool to watch. I'm like, you fat, lazy snake.
Every
You can't
time
rub it off like a normal snake. You got to loosen it up first because you're a bum.
John brings me the snake that every time I hold it, it bites me.
Ooh, clickbait.
I don't know why she's just angry. And I'm like sitting here still unwrapping this, so I'm like concentrating hard. Meanwhile, keeping
I
an
know.
eye on this thing because it's like, I'm like, really, you bite me again? There's
The little
certain ones that
Disney
just
hates
hate
me.
me.
He's always trying to bite me, but I adore him. He's like my little poor man's shingleback that can pretend he's super cool.
Everyone
But his
goes,
name's
Kathleen, all your
Fabulous.
animals are aggressive and angry. I'm like, no, I just talk about the aggressive, angry ones that hate me.
Well, they're more fun to talk about. Quasimodo has a little hump in his back. He was part of someone's breeding program, and he couldn't hump the girls appropriately, so they sold him to me super cheap so I could have him for part of the shows.
Yeah, you see. There's one we have, and I joked with John the other day. I'm going to name her Fluffy because she's so vicious. Like she is just pure snake. Like just boom, boom, boom. You have to like hold pretty much a towel or something or saving blanket and be like,
My
"Ole."
God.
Yeah.
Use
And
your welding gloves. Just grab welding gloves. That's what I do with my
We
new
have
ones.
welded. We have. The thing is, she goes for your face.
Ass.
So she's my mystic crystal, and she's also breeding right now. So she's extra cranky. So we're sitting there, and I was on a live with Shane, and somebody goes, "I want to see your mystic crystal," and I'm like, Shane, I think they're talking to you, and they're like, no. He's like, no, I don't have a mystic crystal, and I'm like, oh God damn it.
Right.
God damn it. So, and I'm like, okay. And I held her up for 2 seconds in front of my face, and I'm like, 1, 2, you seen her, bye. And meanwhile, she's like reaching back to go.
Trying to nail you.
Yeah. And I'm like, nope, we're done. We're done. Like, that snake is insane. Oh no, she's huge. I just don't feel like getting bitten on camera.
What is huge? Really?
Are
Are we man measuring? What is huge?
How much does the Mystic Crystal weigh? Like somewhere in the 3,000 grams?
It's a ball python. It's not huge.
Wow, she's my soul.
Girl, tell me that when you got a retic flying at your face.
Nope, they're illegal here.
Really? God, you guys have no fun in Canada.
No. Well, there's a reason why they're illegal here, where I live.
Girl, it's too cold. They're gonna die. They can't be invasive if that's their excuse.
No.
I call bull.
No.
Okay.
Their excuse is a few years ago, there was this education center, and Buddy lived in the apartment above it who owned it, and his African rock python escaped from its closures, went into the walls up into the ceiling. He was babysitting his godchildren. Anyways, long story short, African rock python fell out of the ceiling in the apartment above and killed the two little boys. So our province is strict on no big snakes.
See,
Woo,
we have stupid rules down here. Multnomah County, which is Portland, where I live, technically on the books, you cannot have a venomous snake. Hognose.
Yes,
you know what the pet stores sell? Hognose. Because they don't actually have enough energy. They don't have enough energy and resources to actually police it. But technically, we can't have hognose in Multnomah County for sale at stores. Clark County, which I think it's Clark County, Vancouver, up in Washington, you can't have a ball python because they can reach lengths of 6 feet, and that is against regulations. I'm like, the fuck you gonna regulate that? Like, the rules are stupid. The rules are stupid. I follow the rules. I have permits for my animals. I follow all the stupid rules because I want to be above board, but I think they're stupid, and I don't agree with them. I had a very toxic cane toad for many years who would totally acclimatize to Oregon weather and get loose and, cause havoc. But no permit. I have an African bullfrog, high water density, little water balloon. Dude would freeze to death in our winters. But, I have to have a permit for that. Like, the stupidest rules. I'm like, guys, do you know the anatomy and biology and how these animals work? I had
working really hard.
It's fine. I had several students, classmates who at OSU in college who were taking the Fish and Wildlife program, and they would come to me with stuff where they're telling me, Burmese pythons and all these invasive pythons in Florida, they have multiple clutches a year with like 100 babies, and that's why there's such a problem. Like, just stop talking. Yeah. It might be every other year. They're effectively living wild. They are having probably 60 to 100 eggs, one clutch every other year, and most of those are getting eaten by heron and raccoons and other predators. Yeah. And no, your biology is unsound. Your information is wrong. Like, no. And that was going around in like college classes. Like, like
they got his eye caps and all. I'm so excited.
They don't have enough people speaking about appropriate reptile biology and stuff. Like, most of what they talk about is all anecdotal, which is great if it comes from the hobbyists who understand the animals, or it's anecdotal from tall tales and myths and bullshit. Yep. I took one herpetology class at OSU. It was amazing. The teacher came out of retirement so that it didn't have to be an online class, and I took it with him, and he was great.
Oh, wow.
And then they discontinued the class because they didn't have enough people interested in it. But that's a huge portion of like fish and wildlife in the States now, with tegus and iguanas and all these different animals being loose and invasive. Like, Florida's like ground zero for that shit. And it's bad.
I think it was a gentleman in our Cusco Discord was telling us about how they were at a survival class or something like that. And the fish and wildlife tried to tell them all kinds of bogus things about snakes and
did they use the word poisonous?
What?
Oh, probably, but they stopped him and said, let me school you. And so I guess they took over about 2 or 3 hours of the class and schooled
everybody. Good. That's amazing. I'm glad that they were able to stand up and say something.
Yep.
Hello, little baby.
He's a baby.
Baby Yoshi, meet baby Noodle.
Yeah. Actually, his name is Dracula.
Oh.
So I
And
have
what
a
is
picture.
Dracula?
Yeah. So the reason he's Dracula is I got from like the dollar store a little like fake coffin casket thing,
Oh
like
my
Halloween
God.
Halloween decoration, and I
You
was like, I
judge me
want to
about
take.
Barbie furniture. You judged me about Barbie furniture.
No,
You went to
no.
Dollar Tree. At least mine was brand name.
But I was just setting up for like a photo, so I put him like in it, right, thinking he would just fall off, but he actually like rose from the dead and tongue flicked and started moving slowly.
Did he do the periscope right out of the
As
coffin?
best as he could, being little. And he
That's
had like tongue
adorable.
flicking, and I'm like, I'm gonna name you Dracula, and then he bit me also during that photo shoot. So I'm like, it's perfect.
That is perfect.
But like
He lived up
insane
to his name.
pattern on this dude.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what morph is he?
He is a lesser leopard.
Lesser leopard. Okay.
Yeah, and he is also het clown.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know when I first started getting into ball pythons way back like 6 or 7 years ago, I was like, World of Ball Python app. And I was going through like quizzing myself. I'm like, I'm going to get good at this. I deleted the app. A couple years later, got back on there. I'm like, there's no freaking way. There's no way. There's too much shit. I can't keep up with it. So I applaud all my ball python breeders because I cannot keep up with those genetics. I was already not super great at genetics, but it's like completely lost to me now.
I love
like, that
genetics.
one's pretty. That one's pretty. I want that one. Yeah, but I don't breed.
This guy's
like
stunning.
It's like I don't breed, so I don't put my mental energy towards that. It's like keep everybody happy, husbandry, healthy, cool, everyone's chill.
So leopard is what's causing the pattern to be all wonky.
Okay.
And the lesser is giving it that fade.
The fade. Well, I was gonna say too, is leopard co-dominant or is it het?
Yeah,
or
co-dom.
I tend to really like the codoms for some reason, like bamboos and coral glows and stuff like that, or the white smokes, whatever they're called now, banana. I really like those.
He takes that pretty real quick. Oh, is that Scarlet?
Scarlet went
trying
to
to
bed.
bite you. Scarlet did go to bed. He's got her snake. He's like, this one's an arse. And I'm like, because he tried to bite you. You hiss at you?
Like Yoshi's new toy?
Goodness. Yoshi.
This guy's so pretty.
Can you see his new toy?
So this is a yellow belly. Oh, that's cute,
my God, I love this chew toy.
So this is what's called a yellow belly. He's also het for pied.
Okay, because my albino ball python is a yellow belly.
He's het for pied.
What is the yellow? Is the yellow belly like a color or a more like a pattern changer?
It's pattern changer. So again, that flaming you see on the sides here.
Okay.
That's what's causing that.
Okay.
However,
I don't see any alien heads.
No. Yeah. However, they're never usually this orange.
I was gonna say he's very orange, but is he also like a brand new hatchling? Because their colors fade after a while.
No, he is smaller. His sister's like 700 grams. Like she's massive. He's a decent size. He's boy though. It's a female though. This is a male. He's also 50% lav. So that yellow and purple snake I had out. He's 50% het for that. But he also possibly has what is it? Billy's gene from mutation creation. He's possibly got this brand new gene.
Nice.
And it's my daughter's snake. It's not even mine.
So something I really like about some of my
He's
animals.
also not happy if you can see like his head's right back. Like, I'm gonna get you. So I'm like, you can't get big and scary.
I have a albino paradox Burmese that my friend, another educator from Florida, gave me. He is microchipped and everything because shit out of Florida is intense. But he is about 5 years old now. His paradox is really pretty. It's not a high contrast, but he is very cool. So when I started looking into paradox, because I had never really done much thinking about it, because again, not into breeding and morphs and all that, everything that people have come down with is that they're twins. They were twins in the egg, and one twin got absorbed after it already had its own genetic profile. So the existing surviving twin now has two genetic profiles. And the name I had picked for him, Ulan, means I am my own twin, or I am the first of twins.
Is he
And
a
it was pretty cool.
chimera?
No, and that was the other thing, is if they are paradox, in theory, then if they have absorbed a twin, they could also absorb the genetic profile of the twin if it was a different sex.
Yeah.
So he already has manifested the color. So I was like, well, dude, if I have a hermaphroditic paradox albino Burmese, I'm a freak. I'm a freak.
Yeah.
So when I took him to the vet, we DNA'd him to ensure what his DNA was calling him, male or female, and then we probed him to be sure there's not like, oops, surprise. So he's got hemipenes for sure. DNA'd him as a male. We did x-rays. Like, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun poking at him. He didn't like it, but I was like, it's for science. Endure. So we tortured the hell out of him.
Yeah.
We tortured the hell out of him. He's microchipped and all that too. So that was an interesting thing. I've never had a microchipped reptile. I've seen people doing that with their tortoises and the stuff when they get loose, but I'm like, I'm going to buy those tile trackers and I'm going to glue that shit to the bottom of my tortoise when it gets out, because I know it's going to happen one day. Like,
somewhere in certain regions in the UK, they have to microchip like all their ball pythons.
Yes, I heard that.
I'm like, could you imagine? So as someone who breeds ball pythons, could you imagine selling like a $50 normal and having to microchip it? Like
for $50.
I'm like, I've heard people refer to normal ball pythons now as feeders, which is crazy to me.
Another yellow belly.
Yep, a lot of the king snakes.
But see the difference between
I mean, my friends got freaking king cobras and they eat them.
Yeah.
So,
a lot of people with the different snakes will use them as feeders.
Makes sense. So, don't waste.
See the difference between this snake and the one I just had?
His pattern looks different.
But this is a yellow belly too.
Interesting. But he's got alien heads on the side.
Yep, some of them do. It's more about their, like, the flaming.
Okay.
So, this one, yeah. This one's also younger, but the thing is, too, the other one has possible hidden hets and hidden genes. This one just has het
that you
clown.
can't confirm yet. Gotcha.
Yeah. This one has just het clown. Just a little one. Just a little tiny thing. About to go into shed. Woo! And just bit me. I'm like, whoop, we're just going to drop this down.
Well, someone had to get bit during the show. I was half tempted to be like, I could bring the retic, let him bite me, do the clickbait thing, and then show people how to remove a big snake that's biting you. But I really just, not quite feeling it. It's been a rough week. With my luck, it's like he won't let go or he'll shit in my mouth. So one of the two. Biting the tail get kind of messy.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I just lower him so I could get him off. Or her off.
Well, that's a quick way to do it.
Yeah, I just lowered it. There we go.
Naughty baby.
Well, that's what you got to do. I didn't freak out. It was like, ow!
Their teeth are so damn tiny.
Because I wasn't paying attention to, because I was talking, and then all of a sudden, whoop!
Complacency.
I had one tag me in the face before on a show. Or on a live.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm keeping your head away from me, and I'm going to treadmill you. If I wasn't on camera, I wouldn't care as much, but,
What, you don't want this is the market, man. What are we doing?
This one needs to know who's in charge.
He's a turd. He's a little baby. He can't help it.
Well, no, they got to get used to handling, so by showing him I'm in charge and handling him. You know what I mean?
See, my little digi skink is always ready to fight. He is always ready to fight me. He just does not
this guy's ready to go again. But I'm not giving him that opportunity to wrap himself around my hand. I'm treadmilling him. And he's like, I am ready to go. Nope, you are not. You are not grabbing. I love snakes so much.
You're so angry.
So it's not fair. John's never been bitten by a snake.
We can fix that. Go grab your mystic potion, crazy whatever it is, and
No,
have him go.
he can grab her no problem.
Girl, I promise you, bait and switch, feeding day, it'll happen. You can make it happen.
I'm just
I know. I did a
don't
at
you
one
even
point I was
think
at a
about
birthday
it
party.
again.
I did a birthday party, and these kids were just like, "I want to see the snake bite you." I'm like, you know what? Fine, go there. So I grab out my king snake, and I stick my finger on his nose, and I like push just enough, and he goes plum, and he bites my finger, and he just sits there. He doesn't try and wrap around me. He doesn't try to do anything. He's holding, and their kids are like freaking fall out on themselves, freaking out.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my God, he's biting her. And everyone's screaming and freaking out. And I'm just standing here waiting for the pandemonium to stop.
Yep.
They all come running in. They all stop. And they're just like, does it hurt? I'm like, your screaming hurts my ears, but that's kind of all that's going on right now. And they're just like, and they cover their mouths. They get all quiet. I'm like, their teeth are so tiny. Like, really, getting whacked by a blackberry bush or a rose bush is going to hurt way more, and it's going to itch for damn days. Like, this, like, me. It literally, his poor little teeth are so tiny, he barely poked through my skin. And the top, because of my fingernail, he didn't even break the skin on top. And he just went, and, like, spat me out. And the kids are like, like, they were just shocked. I'm like, obviously, different snakes are going to have different bites, but I was like, I need to drive this home. This is not, like, this is not scary. It is not the end of the world.
Well, it was funny when that guy bit me. Well, she bit me. She grabbed on and coiled, and I'm like, no, not today. And then I just keep treadmilling, and she let go. And I'm sitting here talking to you guys, and she's treadmilling, but she's also trying to coil around me to grab me to do it again. And I'm like, no, we're fine. Away we go, watching your head, but we're good, and you're going to get used to. Just because you bit me doesn't mean you're going away.
Naughty.
That's how you calm them down. It was kind of heartbreaking though. I had someone comment on a video once. Is it true that when you smashed the head in of a python that bit you? And I'm like,
that is
clearly,
horrifying.
as you guys seen what I do when they bite me.
That is horrifying.
We have video proof.
I gave a little yelp when it bit me because I wasn't expecting it. It was more of a. It didn't hurt. It was more of a like.
It's a surprise. It surprises people more than anything. It's not painful. Like, I could pinch my finger in the dresser drawers and have that hurt more than the snake bite. It's just the start.
I've also been bit right here in the collarbone at the base of my neck.
Ow! Weird.
That one hurt because it just hit the bone. But also that it was coming out of transport and it had a rough transport, and I kind of welcomed the bite.
Pointy tail.
Yeah.
Yes, he's got a very, very stabby tail. So I keep saying he's my poor man's shingleback skink because I'll never be able to afford an actual shingleback. So he's got all his cool little pine cone markings and scales. So it's my pretend one. Gidgee skinks are super, super cool.
On one of the Blue Tongue Skink pages, somebody just shared a pair of shingles for $700.
No way. No way.
Yeah.
I will sell myself for that. I need those.
You got to move to Australia. Give everything else.
Shit. You didn't say it was in Australia.
Oh, it was on Australia. That was not American. That's $10,000 minimum.
Oh my god!
Because I about shit my pants right now when you said that. I'm like, those things are like $12,000 here.
That was legitimate USA. That had already been done.
So I'm gonna give it 5 minutes. Anybody wants to throw in any last minute donations? 5 minutes. I'm going to do the draw, and we're gonna close it. We're gonna close it out. It is 12:11.
Oh, that's right. It's midnight for you.
Yeah. I mean, John did good during this. He went and passed me snakes as he was cleaning all the snakes. I mean, he's like, if I'm going to pass you, if he's going to pass me snakes, he may as well just clean them all. And he's like, he's in their background, and he handed me the one that like bit me, and he's like, its fin was so poopy, like I don't know what it ate. Like there was just brown everywhere. I think it must have pooped and like ran through it. Because that happens. Yeah. Oh, apparently it
Kidding.
peed and pooped. It was like, good times. That's one thing I wish people had taught me about snakes is before we got them is just because they're little like that does not mean they poop like pretty much the size of their body.
Oh my gosh, yeah. For sure.
I'm like, how was this in you? Like, really? Like, look at that little Gila monster. It's so adorable. John, can I have a Gila monster? That didn't answer my question.
Oh, he wants a salve.
No, I'm good. He wants to take it. He wants to take it for a walk, like down the
salve?
street, full grown. He thinks it'd be hilarious. Yeah, you said you were gonna put a harness on to take it for a walk. I know you can, but I don't know if you guys can hear. Oh, that's pretty.
Here you go, Shanti.
Oh, coral glow?
Leopard Candino.
Oh,
Leopard Candino.
That's pretty.
He's back from breeding for the last 5 years.
Oh my gosh. Where was he at?
Breaking balls
That's awesome.
up in Tacoma.
Oh, can I borrow him for 5 years?
We can work out a breeding loan package, I'm sure.
I have a
I'm
few
cool with him
ladies
breeding.
that I have a few ladies that could go to him, like
That's awesome.
like an asphalt.
How old is he?
If he 6?
6 or 7?
Well, he was barely a year when I loaned him out. So
Oh wow. So even
Yeah.
that young, he was able to go and start breeding?
yep. That's why it's fitting for his name to be Bean.
They can start producing sperm around 300 grams.
I heard that, but I wasn't sure how much validity there was to that. I'm like, that
No,
seems
you
so
can.
little.
I mean, you can. You wouldn't want to overexhaust them. Like, if you're doing just one female, like, that's fine. Like, at a time, that's fine.
Okay.
You wouldn't want to sit there and be like, you're going to you and you. Be like, one female, that's it until you hit whatever. 500, 500 grams, you can play around with it a little more. 700 grams is where you'd like to
That's
be. When
what
you
I
can
heard
do,
was ideal, was 700 grams.
yeah,
So I got
that's
him
when
to
you can do
500
like the
pretty
four.
fast and then loaned him.
Yeah, 700's like when you can do like full scale stuff. We do like 2 for 500 grams right now.
Okay.
But I mean, we also don't have a lot of
2
females.
breeding, you mean?
Yeah, 2 pairings. Yeah. It's
Oh,
okay.
baby.
All right, 12:15. I'm gonna do the. Oh, how am I gonna do this? Because I need to show all the actual, like. I don't know if people trust me. I have it in a generator. Like, how am I going to? I can't turn around the camera.
What do you mean? Do you have something that'll like auto populate, or?
Yeah, I have a spin to win.
That's awesome.
It's an app on my computer. Hold on. I'm trying to figure it out here. I'm trying to see if I can turn around my.
Oh,
Can you see it?
baby.
Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to shuffle 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to click the spin. So this is for the first Melusine Exotic t-shirt. The bronze one.
Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, what was that? And we'll spin again. Watch Philip wins his own shirt.
I'll say, I think we'll have to do a respin on that.
Uh-oh.
Is it for real?
Why did my light turn off? The Kirkmans! Now you guys all have to fit into one shirt.
Love it.
Just do a baby size and we'll be fine.
Oh, it'd be so cute. I was totally gonna make creature teacher onesies anyway because of my kids, and then I'm like, my friends have babies. I need to do this.
Where's my folder of the things?
Uh-oh, we lost you, Kathleen.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm just trying to turn it around.
You has
all the things.
disappeared.
There
Oh,
we
there
go.
you are.
Yeah, I was trying to turn it around without, like,
Okay.
stuff.
Oh,
So, congrats
Night,
to Deron. Deron will get I'll message you. Why is my light turning off? I think it's overheating.
hey, mine was doing that earlier, and I said, stop it. Not today, demon, and it stopped.
I do
Okay,
have ghosts
PD.
in my house.
Whoa, what is happening?
Oh, I
I
was
think she's
changing the
got
light.
colored lights going.
Ooh.
So, instead of coloring my hair, John, can you just hit the light? I've given up on this. Woohoo!
Let there be
Instead of
light.
actually dyeing my hair because it's fading, I just turned the blue light on.
It looked really good.
Yeah, now you guys can see I need to dye my hair.
You're a faded mermaid. You need bright freshness.
Yeah, I'm also poor and spend all my money on snakes. And
Girl, you're preaching to the choir.
So any last minute questions? Anybody last minute things? If
Yes,
not,
open book. Ask me all the questions.
here's one thing I'd be interested in you since you're starting open to different forms and stuff. Would you be willing to do like Zoom call birthday parties for a fee?
I tried to start something similar to that last year. I had
Yeah.
2 or 3 people that were like, hey, could you do a Zoom thing? And I was like, absolutely. Don't know how, haven't done it before, but we could figure it out. Totally do that. And then they never followed up. So it's been something that I've offered and thrown out there all last summer, but it hadn't had any takers.
But I mean,
think,
it's COVID season now, so
yes, it is. And I am still very open to it. I think the hang up with it, or the reason people may double back on it and not want it is because really, outside of the questions and the one-on-one getting to answer and look at things, it's a lot of what you would see on TV. It's reptiles, it's on TV. It's on a screen. There's the interactive portion that is the key component to the whole endeavor is lost. So the one-on-one portion and letting them ask questions and see them up close and pick animals and like, woo, like that part's that's cool. But I think that gets lost in the idea that it's still going to be virtual and the parents are like, I don't want to pay for that. So that's been something we have pushed last summer, and I am ready to get going on that again. It's just really, what are people willing to do this year that they realize they could have done last year to make it a lot less miserable and give themselves some enrichment and stimulus when they're stuck at home with their kids. So I'm hoping this year will be better for us too.
Yeah. I
creature teachers! Woo-woo! Got the swag.
I gotta get one of them.
Yep, just send me your size.
Yeah, I have no merch. Like, I have my own merch.
Well, and I just started the merch. I was like years I wasn't doing anything, and except for my uniform. And then I was like, okay, people keep asking for shirts. I gotta buy shirts. So that was a big chunk of change, which
They're not cheap.
They weren't, and I have a really good hookup, and I got good prices, and it was still like, oh god.
So mine
are
like $16 starting to make. And that's just your black and white. But the thing is, these are so soft.
Oh yeah, no, the creature teacher
and they're
shirts are super soft. Yep.
And they're pre-shrunk. And I mean, they did a really good job on the logo.
Yeah, I really liked the ones that I got. They're unisex, so they will fit men and women. I would have preferred to get women's shirts only and men's shirts only, but that was an extra expense.
That's like $30 per shirt.
Yeah, I couldn't justify it. So I was like, unisex it is.
And that was like $16 if I just got black or white and did minimal with the logo. Like where I blew the logo up a little bit, it was extra. Like, it's ridiculous. So I'm like,
I know, I was like, can I be cheap and do iron-ons? But I was like, no, this needs to be good quality. People are asking for it. I need to do it because I did baseball hats a while back, and I just did 10 just to see what they were like. I paid. I got what I paid for it. They were very cheaply done. So next time around, the hats will be. I will spend more money on the hats so that they're better.
Believe it or not.
I didn't make people pay for them. I ended up giving them to kids at birthday parties and stuff because I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's some sketch. So it was still
believe it or-
swag. It just wasn't quality.
Believe it or not, my Melusine does not translate well to a hat.
Oh,
Her hair comes out like navy blue. I'm like, nope, we're not ordering that.
well, and I was going to say too, sometimes their demo photos do not demonstrate what the thread is actually going to look like. So I always have
That
them
was
send
the
me,
demo
like,
photo.
oh, it was.
And I'm
Oh,
like,
interesting.
oh no. I'm going to kick you off, Lance, so we can close the show.
Goodbye.
I love you guys.
Thank you for
Bye,
popping
Kirsten
in.
Clan.
Thanks for inviting us.
Bye.
Problem. Lance will
good
be
one.
on in a few weeks, anyways.
Whoop, whoop.
He's coming on.
Heck yeah.
So any closing things? Anything you want people to know about creature teachers? Anything like that? Anything? Any secret animals you got hiding back there in case people were interested?
I only brought a handful of the critters. I've got about
That's
30.
not even a
so
handful. That's like an achoo. Like,
for me. Oh, okay. In my circle of friends,
yeah,
when they have several hundred animals, I have only got a handful.
yeah.
But no, just parting words. I just want to be I'm really, really grateful, shocked, thankful that so many people were willing to donate, people who know me or don't know me, and just want to help push the conservation and education mission forward, because that's really like, if I could do it for free, I would absolutely do it for free. But these guys got to eat and they got vet bills.
Even Steve
that's the
Irwin
big
had a zoo.
I know. And I have to remind myself that the TV show made him money, because I'm like, he got to do what he was just passionate about and he just loved it, every second of it. And I'm like, I have to do all of that and the keeping up with the kids and all the animals and stuff. And I want to make sure that it doesn't ever, I wish I could do it for free, so it wasn't having to be about money.
Yeah.
But sadly, money makes the world go round. So
Absolutely.
I really appreciate everyone putting out and being so
and I
supportive
think what's
during
great about,
the crisis, because not everybody's been able to keep working. So I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And what's great a lot about the people who watch me, but they're mainly my friends and they've already met you before, and everybody is understanding that without people who educate like yourselves, we wouldn't have this hobby that we have.
Yeah.
Because how the heck how are we supposed to sell
niche?
Exactly. And how are we supposed to sell these animals to people if nobody
public?
Exactly. Like, we can't just keep selling to other breeders. We have lower end stuff that we sell as pets. Like when I say lower end stuff, it's like a 1 gene animal, you know what I mean, or a normal
1 gene, or it's a pretty snake. It's not going to be vital to your breeding program.
Exactly.
No, so, I very much believe that breeders, educationers, rescue, like the educators, rescues, the breeders, we all have to be overlapping when we work with one another, not isolating as separate parts of the community, but all incredibly important limbs of the same community. And we need to be doing that hand in hand, because that's really the only way that this hobby is going to survive, with all the retarded bans and illegal export, all this stuff that's happening. We can't combat it by ourselves. We have to join up, and we really have to make a stand. USARK is a huge one. And if you're not going to donate to me, please donate to USARK. They are amazing. They battle a lot of that legislation. We always do fundraisers and raffles for them to raise money at each of our Packwester expos, and those are 4 times a year without the COVID pandemic. So get a membership, support USARK if you're not going to support creature teachers today. Just
it's
super
a shame
important.
that there isn't like a Canadian ARC, like the Canadian branch.
Well, and I was going to say too, you can still support USARK from there, but their legislation is specifically what's happening in the US.
Yeah.
I'm sure they have a sister branch. You could probably look into it and message them and see if they have people working on stuff up in Canada. Wouldn't hurt.
They don't. Because we almost had bills passed that you couldn't put like reptiles into tubs.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, try putting a ball python in a tank.
Humidity out the window. Stress.
It depends. I mean, I have one that literally loved being in a tank and hates being in a rack. But she's also broken and thinks she's a green tree python. So
You can't snake, right?
yeah, it's a white snake. Anyways, it's messed up in the head. But yeah, she's broken. Her name is Dibbles. Like,
cute.
Yeah, no. The reason is there's a meme that went around that said ivories are just dirty bells. Changed my mind.
Oh.
So I shortened it to Dibbles, Dirty Bell Dibbles.
Oh my gosh.
She is the sweetest snake ever. We got her as a rehome from someone who had way too many animals.
Okay.
That's a story for another day. And we took her in and was told, yeah, it's a male.
Just kidding.
Nope. Last spring it would have been 2. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, you're 4 feet tall and 1,300 some odd 80 grams at 2.
That's crazy.
And you're like 4 feet. And you're ovulating, like you're bull wrapping. I'm gonna probe you. Sure enough. But we bought snakes around this snake being male.
Oh no, for the breeding program.
Yep.
Oops.
Oh, we're ending with a Gila monster. That is so cute, John. Gila monster.
Yes, she is. I try not to pick favorites, but she's totally one of my favorites.
Yeah.
When I got her from my friend.
The Cayman's one of my favorites, so you have to.
Yes. When Jeff sold her to me, I was just like over the moon. I got one of my like dream list animals. I'm like, yeah. And she was the first Gila monster I had ever held several years before that. So I was like, don't you dare sell her. I'm taking her. He's like, okay. Like, don't argue with me. Oh, you agreed. Okay.
So I'm gonna leave. Anybody who watches this after we're live, her links and everything are still gonna be there. Please donate. If you do donate, just mention that you've seen her on this, just so she knows.
And thank you again.
I was so excited.
I knew. Me too. I just super appreciate you taking the time out to support us. It's still a really small, young, growing business, and COVID's been really killing a lot of small businesses. And I feel like this one is not like, it's not just a small business. It's a huge impact on so many lives. So many kids. I touched so many kids through the summer with these animals, and I'm like, so many kids this summer went without, and it makes me really sad to feel like I missed those kids. And I'm like, will I get a chance to see them again next year?
I knew when you did Brian's show and you were doing the Zoom call afterwards. I was on there, but I wasn't because I was having a rough day and I just didn't want to deal with people. So I was in a pillow fort and I didn't have my camera on. And I remember, I'm like, I need to do something for her. And then Brian was sitting there being like, if some Kathleen lady messages you about being on a podcast, it's fine. And you were like, oh.
Yes, I remember when he said that.
What? No, Gila. That's a green tree frog. That's not the Gila. Oh my God. And it's spelled Gila, not H. Oh my God, he's looking at our exclusion list. What? Yellow. We'll find it. Anyway, so then you're like, oh, she's normal. And then I popped in my voice. I'm like, no, I am not. But I knew I had to do something, even though I'm not rich.
Really, though?
Normal's just a setting on the dishwasher.
Exactly. So true.
I just seen it in a friend's live literally before this. And someone said, Is it because we're into reptiles that we're also antisocial and hate people and odd? Like, that's why we're all that way, because
I don't think we're all that way, but I think the mass majority that do feel that way it's because of the retarded stigmas around the things that we love,
Yeah.
and we're constantly having to combat that ignorance that
Yeah.
causes us to dislike most other humans.
Yeah.
Like, is that an iguana? It's a leopard gecko. Is that a corn snake? It's a Burmese. Is that poisonous? It's venomous. Like, all the things that we find as normal, common, basic knowledge is very much not for the mass
Basically,
populace.
if you eat it and it makes you sick, it's poisonous. If it bites you, if it eats you and you get sick, then it's venomous.
Yeah, I have a whole thing on that with my tarantula being venomous and the cane toad being poison. Like, if it bites you and you get sick, it's venomous. If you bite it and get sick, it's poisonous.
Yeah. All your links are down below. You do have a Patreon though,
Yes.
which I think is great. You can either donate
Our
to.
Patreon, we have all the animals on there, so you can try and like sponsor specific
When I
animals.
looked yesterday, there's only like one left.
What? That's awesome.
There's only like one spot for one animal, and I'm like, but there's
That's
only like
awesome.
3 animals that were there. So I'm like,
usually you scroll down, there should be like 15.
yeah.
There should be like 15 different ones. Right
I
now
only seen 3.
I think there are 4 animals that have been claimed and 1 of our basic levels.
Is there still
so-
spots for the Gila monster? Because that's what everybody's
I believe
gonna
so.
want.
Yes, I don't think she's been claimed yet. My my godson's mother, she runs my website and my
Yeah.
Patreon, so she usually is the one updating those and sending out like the little certificates and says, "Thanks for sponsoring so and so." So we just have to like work through that and make sure everyone gets their certificates and stuff. So when you do
cute.
sign up for that, definitely let us know.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. Maybe you'll get a Discord for it.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I still have to look into all that stuff with Discord.
I'll teach you. We need to up your social media game.
I know. I'm sad. I'm a dinosaur.
Yeah, you need a page just on Instagram.
I'm
for
not as
creature
cute as a
features.
dinosaur as you, though. You're the cutest dinosaur.
Again, thank you everybody for coming and donating. I'm going to afterwards. I want to see the grand total. I don't have access to all of it because some people donated without. Oh look,
Okay.
Adam Wickens. Adam Wickens, you were super late, so you better super donate. We're just about to end the show. It's Adam Wickens from Wickens Wicked Reptiles. He has a little YouTube channel that's about 70K.
Nice.
There's a link for her PayPal in the description below. You
I
missed
will
the
send you
draw
a
for a free
screenshot.
shirt, Adam. Like,
I will send you a
Jeepers.
screenshot of what shows up in my PayPal when I get off of here.
we're calling Adam out for being super duper late. Because
Guilt.
Adam was on
Peer
Wednesday.
pressure.
Adam was. Look, she had you missed the Gila monster. You missed the white clip. You missed everything. We were
Short-tail
literally
python
just
with
closing
tarantula.
down, Adam. I love giving him a hard time. It's so much fun.
Oh, duh. You have to.
He was
It's
on
laugh or
Wednesday.
cry. That's all you got.
He was on Wednesday. So I was like, yeah, you make sure you come out. He's like, I will. And he logs in as we're signing off. But yeah, and again, anybody watching after the fact, all her stuff's down below, her Patreon, a link to her Instagram page, which is just her personal one for now. So send her a message and harass her to get a Creature Features one going.
Swag.
Patreon, her PayPal's down there if you want to donate. Please donate.
If you want a Creature Teacher shirt, it's $20 with $5 shipping, and I can get those mailed out to you. I've sent stuff all the way to Australia. I've sent stuff out to Canada. I've sent stuff all over the place. So just
Make
let me
sure
know.
to say though donation or T-shirt.
Yes.
Just because if
That
she
way we can
doesn't
divvy
see
up the,
anything,
info.
yeah, if she doesn't see anything, she's gonna assume it's just a donation.
Yes, please.
I would like to see people donate as well as T-shirts because I know T-shirts ain't cheap.
Yes, I tried to keep the shirts as cheap as possible so people will buy them. For a while at our expos, we were totally doing, if you buy a shirt, you can hold one of our animal ambassadors. And that seemed to work pretty well.
I would buy a shirt to hold the Gila.
Nice.
With gloves.
You totally have to come down to the expo in April.
No, but we're all the way like over to Maine.
Excuses.
I also have
Oh,
a
they have
mini.
airplanes.
I also am poor with children.
Sell a kid, you can totally buy a plane ticket. I'm just saying.
I also have to drive like 5 hours to get to an airport.
Whoa, that's how far your airport is? That's crazy.
That's to get to a decent airport.
A decent airport. There is a difference. Okay.
Yeah, there's one that'll fly international and there's one that doesn't. So actually, no, 10 hours. 10 hours to get to a good one.
That's crazy.
I mean, I may as well just drive this way. I'm gonna
It's
end
probably
it
close
because
to 1 a.m. where you're at, huh?
yeah, it's 12:37. I'm getting tired. I also
I
need to blow
so
my nose.
appreciate all of this. I really do. You guys have all
Yeah.
been wonderful. I so
Yes.
appreciate it.
I mean, everybody's pretty much gone anyways at this point.
The warms
Thank
and purples of my heart.
Thank you. Deron, get in touch with me in the morning before I forget because I'm tired and I'll forget tonight. Thank you guys for hanging out. The next episode is Wednesday night. Can you grab my book? I'll give you guys a sneak peek of who it is as soon as John grabs me my book because I forget. I'm very tired and sick. Keep in mind, guys, I may have the COVID.
You got the Rona. You got the Rona.
Rona. Oh, we've got Jerome with No Limit Royals on Wednesday night. Ooh, that'll be a good show. And then Saturday we have Aaron with Mad Morphs Exotics, Lance with Kirkman Reptiles, and Mark with Pantheon Reptiles.
It's exciting.
It's going to be a good week if I don't die of the COVID.
Shut up, God.
I'm
You're
waiting
terrible.
for test results to come in. Again, thank you again for coming on. Thank you to everybody who donated. It was a great time.